Yeah, it was kind of nice of him. I was kind of surprised actually to see he'd reached out. Old Clay.
Interesting.
Seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of interesting though.
Love his logo.
Bear Grease.
The hat is so cool.
Do you listen to his podcast?
I'll listen to probably one or two.
They're
I pick and choose.
They're pretty good. They're like more highly produced, like an NPR type.
Yeah, the
music
Boone ones I listen to.
Yeah,
Those are
Daniel
good.
Boone. They did one like the history of the Mississippi, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, how you guys been? Did you
Been better, but I'm doing great.
You're doing better.
You're training
Yeah.
a lot. You're
I
getting
know.
back into it.
But I am
What are you feeling?
I'm so sore.
Really?
It's a weird sore.
Exhausting sore?
No, I
or-
know I'm probably really annoying. It's hard because I keep saying it's hard to explain. It's like these feelings I've never had. Obviously, I've never had my stomach cut open, but my abs are just sore constantly, and it's like a sore that won't let go. You know when your abs are real sore after training and they like kind of cramp up a little bit? It just feels like that constantly right now.
Can you do anything as far as abs?
No.
It's like having a C-section, huh?
It is exactly like having
Does
a
it have you give
C-section.
you some more appreciation for did your wife have a C-section?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
And I told her immediately, like 1 weekend, I'm like, I have so much more respect for you because then they have a kid at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like right
They're
now,
like, oh, here, let's cut your abdomen open, and then here's a baby.
Here's a baby.
Take
Go
care of a
carry
baby.
It, go carry it. Go do this. Go do
Yeah.
that. And by the way, you have a 4-year-old as well. Here you go.
Yeah, manage that.
Yeah, it's I have a whole new level of respect there.
Well, the crazy thing is you probably realize everything you do involves your abs, your core. Trying to shoot your bow, to hiking, to balancing on a daily basis.
That's been a really interesting thing. Is you always, as you get older, everyone's like, oh, you need a strong back and a strong core, right? Because it does everything. And for the most part, I've always like done what I needed to do for that, and core and back stability, posterior chain stability, all that stuff. But it is literally balance is where I feel my abs. Like walking downhill, all the balance walking downhill is in your abs.
Maybe that's why I fall over.
Maybe that's why you do. It's just one of those things I knew, you just kind of generally know that, but like now I really know that.
Yeah.
Like that's where it's coming from.
So what have you been able to do?
I've just been rucking a 40-pound pack, trying to,
Climbing hills?
But it's tough though too, because for the most part, you throw a heavy backpack on and go uphill, like it's good for your posterior chain, your hips, your hip flexors, lifting your legs against the pack, shoulders, all that stuff is feeling better. But like you still don't get that deep muscle burn because your knee angle isn't deep enough to like get into your quad and hamstring, like real deep in there. And so, I mean, I would love to do some like lunges and split squat lunges and all that stuff, but I can't do any of that stuff yet.
When do you think everything's going to be like fully there again?
They told me 6 weeks.
6 weeks? I was going to say like 6 months or a year.
No, they told 6 weeks before I can do like anything like that, even unweighted, doing anything like that. More like 8 weeks until I can start picking up weights or anything. And but I was thinking about it on the ruck this morning. I think I'm going to get a little risky. I'm kind of a risky person. I think
you're going hunting here pretty quick.
I think I'm going to get
a big risk.
I was gonna say going hunting's within your 6 week window.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I'm 3 weeks out, so I'm 4 weeks out of the emergency operation today.
So you're right on the edge.
And I'm 3 weeks out from the hunt, so I'd be 7. But I think I'm going to start doing some weighted lunges here this week.
I don't know, man.
I'm a risky person.
You put it on
You
you put your September on the line.
That's true. That is. Maybe I'll wait till after that.
Yeah, I might wait. You'll be fine one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'll be all right. Just I'll grind it out if I have to. But just knowing that I'm not in the best shape that I could be going into a hunt just drives me nuts.
Yeah. I know one thing, like that first day, the first full day you've got with the pack on your back, like you kind of feel it anyway. Like, so over the weekend, Utah's archery opener opened up, yeah. And I hiked in Friday night, and I left my house maybe 6 or 7 o'clock, got to the trailhead, and I probably did 4 miles going in, right? All uphill. And it kind of sucked. Like I had a 50 pound pack. I had all the water I could pack because, there's not a lot of water back where I was going. And it sucked. Like I got to camp that night and I was pretty well sweated out, you know what I mean? made camp and tucked in bed, and I thought that felt harder than I thought it would be. But then day 2, 3, which I wasn't doing as many miles. Day 3, I did quite a bit more, but I felt completely different about the whole experience. It's just that first day, first climb.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, this sucks. I remember how bad that sucks. But then just progressively, I don't know if it's you're getting in better shape or if you're just used to having weight on your back, which I've been doing weight on my back in the summer anyway, but
I know, but it's the time under the weight.
Yeah.
That's the thing you just can't train for. Who of us has 6 hours?
Yeah, to throw a pack on your back,
You know,
yeah,
it's like
and
the
go
whole
for
time under load.
Yeah, and that's the part that gets me. And I always equate it to the first day going back into summer football, the first day wearing a helmet, and you feel like a baby, like your head's just going all the way around because your neck muscles have taken 3 months off. You know, and that first day wearing a helmet, you're like, how am I gonna do this?
Yeah,
and then day 2, 3, you just start to pick it right back up, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm back.
It is weird, football helmet.
I only
ever did one day.
The
with
first
football
day,
helmet.
I was gonna say I don't think Trail and I are
I
very
did one
used to
day,
that
one
analogy.
workout with a football helmet, pads and everything, and I was like, this isn't for me.
All right, well, some listeners will understand where I'm coming from, but that first day with the helmet on is like you literally feel like a newborn baby, and then you just pick it back up so fast.
Your neck gets stronger.
But like that whole night, you're just like, I don't know. It's one of the worst neck pains ever.
Sounds like a great sport.
Yeah, you know, this thing called CTE and, you know, all this other stuff.
That's good that you're
hunting
feeling a
season.
little better though, and you're cruising along. And you've been shooting. Does it affect? I was going to ask you. So you've been shooting your bow. Can you pull your bow back? No problem.
No problem. I can feel it.
You feel it.
Yeah.
You feel this. You feel them coming apart.
Well, we're one of the like feelings I have right now that I don't like, just that like deep internal feeling that it's like an itch you can't scratch, is when I get my posture with the bow and I'm real postured up, and that your stomach stretches a little bit, obviously, because you're kind of in that upper posture. I know
it kind of distends out. I notice, like I come to full draw and I'll like look down, or if I video it, I watch a video of me shooting and I'm like, oh man, my stomach's like kind of pushed out, and I think it's just the way you're breathing.
It's that,
it's
that
really
brace, that real tall. It's bugging me. It's like an itch I can't scratch right now. I can feel it when I'm fully
But you're
drawn.
able to shoot and pull your bow back.
Yeah.
I wonder what it'd be like to just shoot a rifle right now, because you have to get in like a plank position, you know, like work your abs, lay
Not
down,
good.
move around. Probably just as bad.
Not good. Yeah, I can talk about another thing in a plank position. It's not real comfortable right now. Not real comfortable.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I know we're only a little bit in, but I mean, I'm just being honest.
so
I'm being
funny.
honest with you guys. You know.
That's so funny. But you're looking forward to going hunting, I assume.
Yeah, very much so.
You guys been seeing all the social media? You guys smashing bucks?
Yeah,
few bulls.
definitely.
I saw
I've been
Travis
seeing
Nawat, and he killed a big bull
Yeah,
this
that was
morning.
pretty sweet freaking bull.
Yeah,
And
great bull.
I've seen 2 bucks out of Nevada and 2 bucks out of Utah that are just.
Yeah, I've seen a
just
couple.
fantastic.
I saw 1 buck out of Utah. I don't know anything about it. Wes
Just
Hogan, I think's the guy's name.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know Wes. I don't know anything about it, but I think it's a Utah buck. But that thing's a giant.
Just fantastic all the way around.
Just built, man.
Yeah.
Bases on that thing.
You think it's the year of the bucks?
I don't know, man. Based on what I'm seeing, I'd say nope. Again,
You're just in the wrong spot.
that might be it. Probably is. Seeing a lot of bucks. I'm just not seeing anything. I haven't seen a big, like a true big buck yet.
Yeah.
Which is
Time will tell.
which is interesting, because it kind of does feel like it's back this year a little bit, just from these first. You know, Nevada's been open for 12 days, and Utah's been 4 days now, right? Three or 4 days.
Open
and
on Saturday. Yep.
it looks pretty good so far.
I kind of heard through the rumor mill. A lot of people were saying a lot of the bulls just didn't look that good early, and then I've recently heard that they have stacked some on like late.
Really?
You know, and really finished out pretty decent, and people were starting to see some big bulls.
Brady's a big elk guy.
I got a little excited there, and I don't really get excited about it.
I did see a bull on the weekend. I saw a number of bulls, but I did see one bull I thought was 360-ish, you know, and big back end, long beams, which that was what kind of had me curious, because you'd think, you know, big bottom end, maybe potentially. We've had a lot of rain. I mean, it rained. My hell did it rain.
Here too.
It rained. Yeah, it rained hard all weekend. And we've had a lot of rain in the last month, I would say, there where I'm from in southern Utah. But yeah, big long beams, big back ends. I mean, it was a solid built bull. So
It's a lot of fun looking at animals like that.
for sure.
Makes me kind of excited to go back out and scout my elk tag.
Well, are you going anytime soon? No, you're not.
We're going to go this weekend, but we have Aaron from Gunworks
That's right.
podcasting. So
Yep.
I'm going to skip the scout and do some podcasting. I know.
Such a company, man.
Company first, baby.
You got to give up days on the front end to take them on the back end.
Exactly. And Trail's also giving up some archery.
Yeah,
do that podcast.
Yeah, giving up some days, but like I said, you give up a Saturday, maybe take a Wednesday or a Friday or Thursday.
Oh,
so look at you, company man.
I mean,
here, figured out.
Well, and like if you're going to give up a day, and that goes into a little bit into strategy, I'd rather give up a Saturday and hunt a Wednesday.
For sure,
I'd rather work a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah, no one's out there.
Maybe not a Sunday in Utah because people are in church.
But Sundays in Utah are a great day to hunt.
But generally speaking, I'd rather give up a weekend and hunt midweek because there's just far fewer people, especially on a general season tag.
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody. I was out all weekend. I didn't see a soul.
Really?
Did not see a person.
Maybe that's why you're not seeing any deer.
I'm seeing deer. I'm just not seeing big deer.
Well, that's kind of not seeing any deer. If you're not seeing big deer.
I've seen plenty of bucks that were like 150 to 160. A lot of 3.5-year-old bucks.
That's a good.
24-inch 4 points.
You really spent a full weekend, no people.
I went in on a Friday. Like I said, I left my house. 6 o'clock. Drove over. Going up the canyon, didn't see a camp, which normally there's a couple camps in the bottom end of the canyon where you can always, like historically, there's going to be somebody camped there. There was nobody camped there. Got to the trailhead, parked at the trailhead, went in, didn't see a soul. I did hear a four-wheeler because there's a road that runs the top end of the unit. I did hear four-wheeler opening morning. Hunted that day, whole day, didn't see another person, nothing. And then the next day, 2 days, trying to think my days here, you run into each other. But I didn't see a buck, and like I said, it was raining pretty hard, so I took a window when it was raining hard to pack out.
Yeah.
And drove around to another part of the unit where I've killed some elk, either spike or cow. I have a spike or cow tag, and then just an area where I've killed a buck or two, and thought I would go in there and look for bucks, but I didn't see. It's funny. I saw camps, but they were all mountain biking, like mountain bikers. Really? There's one camp with like a canoe, a couple kayaks.
I don't mind those camps.
And they're not they're not far from a reservoir, but these were people just outdoor rec.
Wow.
No people that no archery targets that I could see outside, anything like that. And then drove up the road up into that canyon, didn't see any camps, and then hiked in, and I spent another day and a half, I guess, in that area, and didn't see anybody either.
You think it's from the storm?
Yeah, I think that probably had a lot to do with it. I think probably a lot of people looked at it and thought, what's the point? Which is eventually kind of what I did.
You only have so many opening days.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I got a day and the season's open, if it's raining, I'm going, I might as well. And it really isn't so much the rain, it's the wind. Man, it blew all weekend long. Yeah.
Man, it's windier here on a 75-day sunny day in October. There was zero wind here.
I would say opening morning, there was kind of a calm there for a few hours, and then it kind of picked up again. But I would say constant, like 10 to 15 mile an hour winds.
Yeah, it's kind of gross with the bow.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, and then gusts. It got real gusty. So that
at least you got some wind. The whole time, everyone's tracking Hurricane Hillary, and everyone's talking. I mean, granted, we did get some rain, which was awesome. We got a pretty good amount of it. But other than just a rainstorm, it was the weather was nicer than October 15th down there.
Yeah, it was great here.
Yeah, it was windy. We had some serious gusts that one evening, and it did feel like, you're talking about seeing, big deer. It did feel like animals were not moving. Like the deer that I were seeing were within 50, 100 yards of where I watched them disappear and go in bed, little patches of timber. So I wasn't seeing them far from there, and they weren't moving much.
Hey, have you seen big deer this summer and they just disappeared, or?
No, just not seeing big deer.
Just seen big deer in general.
Just haven't seen big deer in general. And I know they're there. I've hunted enough to know that I'm just not seeing them, And I didn't get a ton of time in the summer to put into it, but it's, it's just this time of year is so weird. And you guys, I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, but really, I was telling a buddy yesterday, I just need eyes on one time, because if I can put eyes on him one time for 10 seconds, I'm like, okay, right there. And then I can really, fine tune and focus and just put all my time and effort into that one area and that one buck. Yeah. But it's just finding the one.
Yeah. Getting to that point can be a little difficult. A lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of miles.
Yeah. It was fun though. I mean, passed up a cow elk. I think I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
Had a cow and a calf, and
just them two?
Just the two of them. So I was going to ask you guys, what's your opinion on that? You got a cow and a calf. You got a tag in your pocket.
No other herd of
no
cows
other herd,
around,
just
no?
lone cow, one calf. So I'd seen this cow in the morning, and again, she was just going to this patch of timber. She's all I saw, just rear end, and could tell she was a cow. She's going into a patch of like regenerated aspen, so it's just dog hair thick, right? So I thought, I'm just gonna give it the day. If I don't see anything else, maybe I'll make a loop and see what happens tonight. So made a loop that evening. She comes feeding out, and she's kind of headed up towards the saddle. So I think I'm gonna loop around, find the angle, and she's gonna walk through this saddle, you know. So I got there, and here she comes. She comes feeding along, and she feeds through broadside. She's got a calf with her though, so I'd never seen the calf, but I see the calf now. Calf's running all around playing. I mean, you ever see calves?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Calf elk, you know, they're kicking, they're running
just
around.
like my 4-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they really do. So lone cow, lone calf, what do you do?
I wouldn't have shot.
Wouldn't have shot
I think
her.
you made the right decision. I wouldn't have shot.
What do you think, Brady?
If it was a whitetail, I would shoot it all day. So way back in the day, whitetail hunting in Montana, I'd shoot a pile of does. Like we could get like 7 doe tags a year, shoot them all every single year. I shot a lot of does with fawns. I had a girlfriend at the time.
With a bow?
Yeah, with a bow.
So what time of year are we talking? November?
September.
Okay.
Yeah, I told my girlfriend that they were just lone does. You know,
Smart.
you have to do that. But like, you do think about it. Like those fawns and the calves are less than 3 months old right now.
Yeah.
But I'm like, whitetails, there's so many other whitetails around. Like they'll be okay.
That's why I was asking if there was a herd, it'd probably just be kind of assimilated into the herd and probably would have still made it.
But it does make me think though, like an animal drops on the ground, how long does it take before it can actually survive? So it's been 3 months now. Like it could, but like in November, we were talking yesterday, November, December, you'd shoot that all day.
I shot calves in December and January.
Yeah.
And they're the size of a pretty decent sized mule deer buck. Like they're a big animal. And that's what surprised me is I'm like looking at this calf, it's running around kicking and playing. And then I'm comparing that to calves I've shot in January. And I'm thinking, man, the amount of body mass that animal puts on in, you know, another 4 months, 5 months. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm not good at math
None of us
or
are.
calendars, but
To be honest with you, I zoned out. I didn't even try to do the math. I just said yes.
But yeah, the amount of mass that animal puts on in those months is significant. Like it looks so small. And then the other thought I had was like, if I shoot this cow, this calf's gonna stand there and watch me.
That'd be a hard thing to do.
She's gonna mew. I'm gonna have to run her off, you know, or run it off.
Yeah, that is a tough decision because, like you said, it's a young calf. But it's a bunch of meat in the freezer too.
Yeah, I know.
So how do you weigh it? Like,
it was a bird in the hand, man. It was a chip shot. I mean,
You're a good enough hunter, though. I mean,
broadside, and that's what I was thinking. It was an opening evening. I thought, I don't know if I feel. Yeah. I let my emotions.
Look at you, man. Just growing up.
Yeah, nowadays I would probably, you know, if I had to take those does I shot back in the day, I'd probably pass them up.
You'd pass them?
Because I'm a more skilled hunter now, too. Like, I was just like, I'm getting an opportunity. I'm going to shoot it. And we sometimes shoot 2 or 3 does a night. Like, we shoot a lot of does. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think, maybe you did the right thing.
I was texting Neville, and he's like, you've changed. You've gone soft.
I for sure would have passed.
Yeah.
I don't know with my son. I don't know. Like you start having kids. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because when you get more skilled and you've killed more shit, it's just like,
you understand you can kill anytime.
Yeah, I'll let this one go.
I was
definitely
thinking
get
like
another
back straps though. I'm like, man, that would eat. It wasn't an old cow either. It was probably not like a big, mule headed cow, long nose. It was, it was like probably 3-year-old, 2.5, 3-year-old cow. Thought, man, that would eat. But I couldn't do it. And then I thought maybe the calf, and I thought, no, that calf is tiny. Like I could pack that out under my arm probably. I don't want to do that.
Oh gosh.
So
I think you made the right choice.
So I didn't shoot it, but that was fun. Passed on her. I had 3 other bulls opening morning. Just kind of edged up to a little saddle that I've seen some good bucks in before. I've seen some elk work that country. I had these 3 bulls kind of work right underneath me. They were 55 yards broadside, and I was telling you earlier, man, they're just so slicked off and pretty this time of year. Just that summer coat.
School cap them as a cow.
Yeah, no, thank you. But yeah, they three nice bulls. But it was pretty fun. Everything cleaned off, everything polished up, looking good.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, elk are looking healthy. Even the bucks that I saw, they were looking, even though they weren't big antler, just 24-inch 4 points, they were looking good.
Man, I can't wait to get out. This is the latest I've ever.
I know. I was thinking.
Always hunted August, and that's like this time of year too. Little League World Series.
Yeah,
I love watching Little League World Series. I always have. I played in it here in Vegas, and in our team, we never got out of the region though. Vegas is much better now than it ever was back when I was playing Little League, which was a hell of a long time ago. But I love watching it. These kids are so fun to watch, and they're so excited. It's amazing. And now having my son watch it with me, and then it always kicks off Nevada archery and Utah archery. It's like this whole thing for me. You know, most people talk about opening weekend NFL kickoff.
Yeah.
I like Little League because that's when hunting season always kicked off for me. Well, now I'm sitting in Vegas watching Little League World Series. I've never done that before. I've always been in Utah or some bar in Nevada, you know, in between chasing antelope or something, doing something outside. And I haven't done shit.
Yeah.
It's the latest I've ever had to wait to go hunting.
I bet you're itching. I know
I'm itching.
I'm itching just after the one weekend. Like I said, it rained most of the weekend. I woke up yesterday morning on the mountain and it was completely socked in. Couldn't see 200 yards, you know, and I gave it, 2.5, 3 hours and just kind of still hunted. Found a dead buck. It was
really?
Yeah.
Lion kill?
Yeah, probably lion kill from last winter, I would say. Not a big buck, but a buck. Just a little 4-point, but just still hunted, saw a bunch of deer, but just, you know,
I'm sufficiently jealous.
Raining. Yeah.
Brady's killed 4 animals.
I know. Yeah,
You've been
Brady is having a heck of a year already.
Yeah, so I'm sitting back. I'd be in your boat right now, but I'm like, I've had a lot of great hunts already.
Yeah, you've done plenty.
But I'm really excited to get back out again.
You're done for the year.
What? Those are technically spring hunts.
Nope, you get no fall. You're just done.
He took his days off in the
You're going to hold
winter
the
and
fort
spring.
down while we all disappear for the next month and a half.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, good deal. Yeah, that was kind of the kickoff. I guess probably the main focus of the podcast we wanted to hit this week was just a Q&A.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of was just sparked by getting a bunch of DMs, and I know
a lot of stuff on YouTube as well.
A lot of stuff on YouTube. I try to get back to as many people as I can. Inevitably, I miss some. Seems like when I'm on the road, I'll check them, and I'm trying to be better about not texting and driving, even though my kids will probably call me out on that right now. But I'm trying to be good about not texting and driving, so I just miss them at times. And I know that you've probably had a bunch.
Oh, I do feel bad for all the ones that we miss because it's hard.
Yeah.
And especially when you're gone hunting, you come back and try to look through it. And the whole message request section on Instagram, we got to get rid of that. It's so hard to dive back in there to
There's
figure out.
got to be a better way.
And sometimes I lose them after like 30 days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know someone DM'd me because it didn't show up right away. It shows up in the message request.
Do they disappear?
Well, they're really hard to get through unless you get through all the top ones.
Oh, gotcha.
Or you like have to search for the person, or they message you again, then it'll kind of pop back
And
up.
it gets buried so fast. That's what I'm noticing.
Yeah, it gets buried really fast. And some of these questions are super in-depth. Like guys are spending a lot of time doing it, and I want to spend a lot of time to respond back to them.
Yeah.
That's why I think this is a good way just to
do a Q&A.
Do Q&A.
Yeah. Before we get going, and we've probably got a wider range of questions, I would assume. I pulled maybe 8 or 10 of mine, and you've probably got that many, and you've probably got that many, but we'll try to get through as many as we can. But before we get going, do you want to hit us with a promo?
Yeah. So hunting season. We're here.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. But like we always say, there's still a ton of opportunities out there, from leftover tags, over the counter. You might have a unit group that you drew a tag for. It might be 3 units. How do you break that down? Well, you can break that down using Insider, and you use promo code podcast. We're going to give you 50 points back to the Going Gear Shop. That's $50. You get access to Insider. Like I said, you can break it down using Filtering 2.0 and narrow down where you want to go, or pick up an OTC tag. We did a bunch of OTC elk articles recently, and Trail's done a big series on that. How to narrow it down. Use Filtering 2.0. Jump in there. Use all the tools to the best of your ability to have some success. So promo code podcast will get you hooked up, get you research, get you maps. Take those maps in the field.
Yep.
Use that terrain analysis tool. Turn on some north-facing slopes at certain degrees. Boom, you got some elk habitat. It's going to put you in the zone to find some bulls. Trail.
Here's a little map story. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
So yesterday morning, this is country I've hunted before, right? So I got up. You can't see 200 yards. It's completely socked in. Like I gave it several hours hoping it'd blow out, but it just kept blowing more in, right? So took off, figured out I'm going to kind of still hike out. And this is just like a lot of rolling pinyon and juniper country, a lot of sage, big basins, but a lot of pinyon and juniper and sage. So I take off, I'm hiking. I take the ridge I think I'm headed out on, kind of working my way back towards the truck. And I'm hiking, and it starts to lift a little as I get lower in elevation. I'm like looking around. I'm like, man, I don't know this canyon. This does not look right, And I wasn't worried. Like I wasn't lost, because I knew if I eventually just worked my way out the bottom of the canyon, I'd hit the, the main road. I'd have to work back up to my truck. But got down in there. Finally, I was like, man, I'm kind of turned around a little bit, and I don't ever get turned around. Like I can't remember. I was probably like 20, 22 maybe the last time I remember actually getting like turned around enough that I was like, where the hell am I? You know?
Mm-hmm. I'm shocked you even have a map story. So
Yeah,
I'm already shocked just from that.
Trail and maps.
Yeah, me maps. Yeah. So I actually did pull out my maps. I had, I marked my truck, and I had to use that to navigate back to my truck. Not really navigate, but like point me in the right direction.
That's like one more waypoint than I've ever heard trail marked.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So I did. I used maps to navigate.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah. And normally I'm really good about this stuff. Like visually, I have for whatever reason, like I don't remember a lot of things, but I can topography, vegetation, landscape. Like I wouldn't say it's photographic, but I can remember things really well. The way things look, like a rock, a tree,
You're an
like
internal map. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I have a pretty good sense of direction as far as that goes. And like I said, I was never like confused as far as the direction I was headed, but I was like, I'm going to pull out the old map and see how to find my way back to the truck in the most efficient manner. So
you have changed. Neville is right.
I've gotten soft. They've told me on YouTube. So
they did tell you on YouTube you're soft.
Did they tell him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said I'm fragile.
Yeah. Trail looks really fragile.
Fragile.
I missed this one. This is fantastic.
Yeah. And I just commented back and said, I am a little soft. It's a true story. Yeah. No, I can admit that. I'm okay. But so there's a map story for you.
That's
There's
nice.
reason to use maps.
Like I said, I'm proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Next time you'll have your camp marked too. You have a truck in your camp and maybe a glassing spot. And
Don't get crazy.
Yeah, I'm not getting too not getting
crazy.
too wild. But yeah,
if you would have used maps, you would have found more big bucks. Just saying.
I mean, I use them before I get out there.
Just saying.
Maybe that's what it is.
Take that e-scouting research and put it on take it with you in the field.
Here's the thing: finding bucks and finding big bucks is the same thing. I'm finding bucks.
Is it the same thing?
I think it is the same thing.
I feel like maps. I can kill deer all day long using maps, but to kill big deer, that's a different story. That takes.
You find big deer. Here's the thing: is I find big deer in the same spots I find deer.
Do you?
I think so.
Sometimes those little bucks are hanging around the nursery. They're not.
I agree.
They're not at the bar with the old grandpa.
I mean, I'm thinking of one specific area. I always find bucks in there, and then over the years, I go back and like, there's always a big buck. He might not be with the nerd, the young guys, the frat, right?
The frat boys.
He's not with the frat, but he, big grandpa buck is off on his own, but he's pretty damn close to the main group. I don't know. You're saying I should just go out and look for a lone deer, huh? Lone buck?
Just go in random places.
You're an archery guy. See, they'll be a little more grouped up together. Like what you're saying is sound. I'm just trying to give you a little hard time to help you explain a little bit more.
Here's
of what
the
you're
thing.
seeing.
This is what I think. I think the bigger bucks are in these same areas. I'm just not seeing them.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
I think they're there. They're just a little smarter. They're like, I'm not getting up until 10 minutes.
Quote unquote nocturnal.
A little bit nocturnal.
Ryan Hatch, his famous quote: "Big deer are where they are, not where you think they are."
Oh yeah, I mean,
It's like
my
that's
dad
the
always says that.
famous old quote.
Yeah.
Like you can think they're in the nastiest, gnarliest shit,
Yeah.
but they probably are really close to the nursery, just not with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll find one.
Okay.
I got a long season.
I got
It's
hope.
I mean, I've showed people bucks that I found, and they're like, "Oh, that's a really good buck," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is a good buck."
You haven't shown me.
I haven't.
No.
Yeah, I did. I
Did
sent
you?
Video.
I haven't seen
Yeah, I
any
did.
bucks. So now I'm the asshole.
did you-
on the outs. I haven't seen any bucks.
Did you send
I
it
knew
or
you'd be like, "That's just a buck."
No.
Don't worry about it.
did you send it or show? Because sending it
I
is
can't
way
remember.
different than showing. Because big bucks you should only show, not send.
I probably
Because that way someone has proof.
I
that you
think
found a
I
big
asked
deer.
you. I said, "How big's this buck?" And you're like,
Oh, yeah,
"I
you
don't.
did.
I don't think he's over 165."
Yeah. You did send that to
Which
me.
is why I was like,
I didn't get a text. So
I
you know.
did.
"That's because if I found a
Trail has
buck,
changed.
if I found the buck, you would know."
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Because there's a difference between sending you a video of your like, if I sent you this video, you'd be like, "Yeah, it's a buck."
If I found the buck, you guys will know because I'm not going to show you anything.
Oh, if I found the buck, everybody will know. You guys will all know.
Everyone will know.
I'll be like, "You guys look at this buck. What do you think?" Yeah, I would send it, but I found bucks, just not that buck. I'll find them. Long season. It's like I was telling you. You've got the whole archery hunt. I got muzzleloader, I got rifle, so
Must be nice.
Yeah, you got the same tag.
Hey, easy.
You got a same tag.
I know. I was all confident in one of our podcasts I was going to unretire and take out my bow and dust it off, but
that's not happening.
That's not happening because of the hunt I got coming up. I'm leaving in 5 days for, so
this
that took a little priority.
This guy's got all the hunts.
That was a long jaunt we took from podcast, promo code podcast.
Well, since we're on a tangent, I did bring snacks.
I saw that.
So we talked in the last podcast about trying some oryx. I made a bunch of oryx venison sticks. This is a barbecue bourbon.
Ooh, I love barbecue.
Did you make this?
Yeah, I make everything.
You made this handmade?
Handmade, yeah. I enjoy the part of killing an animal and then processing it myself.
Give me the process for these.
I mean, I made a bunch of steaks and separated the steaks from the stuff I wanted to grind. Normally, I grind everything, and I'll admit on the podcast, I've grinded backstraps and I've grinded tenderloins.
Have you
before
made
in my
steaks
life.
like from this? Have you cooked them?
No, I haven't made any steaks. No, I just processed them all, vacuum sealed them, threw them in the freezer. So I took all their other stuff I would normally grind, and this time I made sticks.
How do you cut them up and not like take a little packet and throw it on the grill?
Well, I had some of like breakfast sausage type things, but like not steaks. No. I like to savor it. And at the same time, though, I'm like kind of rushing through this because I'm planning for another hunt, packing, trying to get all my work stuff dialed. And so, yeah, steak only takes 5 minutes to
I think
do.
He's saving them for date night. That's what
he might be. He might be.
I was supposed to go on some dates, but
I mean, here's the thing. Brady
that got delayed because of what I got coming on.
Picture this. Brady gets a date. He wants to impress her. He brings her over. He's like, I'm going to grill you some oryx steaks.
Bear rug in front of the fireplace. Grilling
Candles.
some steaks.
There you go.
Grab some oryx. Let's taste it.
So this is, so give me the full process.
So yeah, I grind it all. Do one grind, coarse grind. And then I'll go back through it and add the seasoning to it. And I'll also add some bacon ends and pieces because I like to mix bacon ends with everything. Mm-hmm. And then so the seasonings all get mixed up, and then I'll throw it through again and grind it a second time, and I'll do a fine grind. And then get all that into another meat like lug tote thing. Mm-hmm. And then I got a stuffer, sausage stuffer, that then I just hook the right hose onto it, put these little
a casing? Mm-hmm.
Edible casings, and then just stuff it in there and then run them all out. And then I go through and take those big long ones and I'll throw it in my Traeger. Usually do about 180 degrees for 3 hours. Mm-hmm. And then I'll crank it up to 200 degrees for another hour. And I got to be careful because in my Traeger I have a hot spot on the back side. So all these sticks, if I have them on the back, will get a little hot. So I have to kind of push those forward a little bit. But I figure that's like about perfect for this. Some of these are maybe a little drier than I'd like to, but
it's tasty.
And then I cut them afterwards.
I give it an A+.
Oryx. You ever had oryx venison stick before?
No, never.
Yeah.
What's Guy Fieri say? Flavor City. What's he say? Flavor Town, USA.
He does.
Flavored. Dude, this has got some flavor.
He's the guy with the spiky blonde hair. Yeah. Diners and drive-ins.
That guy, Guy Fieri.
So I had to give Cody Bohr a shout out that he let me borrow his knife for the podcast. So
Guy Fieri's a hunter, by the way.
I would not carry a knife especially.
Where's Kuyu? He's a hunter. Yeah. Guy's a hunter.
He looks like he's from Vegas.
He kind of does look.
So honestly,
what's that supposed to mean, bro?
No shade, but
so you guys actually like him?
Oh,
it's really good.
This is fantastic. You bringing this on Thursday? On the
I can. Yeah, I can bring it on our animal farm.
Sure. Where do you get a seasoning mix? Do you just buy it?
High Mountain Jerky. Mm-hmm. I get a lot of stuff from them. I get a lot of stuff from LEM. I have a bunch of catalogs at home. My dad's friend, Mike from over in Minnesota, he's literally, I think if he quit his day job and made like wild game venison stuff, he would make a killing. But he's always said like, I doesn't want to make it an actual job. Mm-hmm. But he's phenomenal. He's like my inspiration for everything. Like growing up, he would always make, the best wild game food. So I've always just slowly built up, tools and different things to do this all myself. And
it's got a sweet name already, Mike from Minnesota. It could be the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole
name.
Mike from Minnesota processing or whatever.
Yeah. God damn, that is good.
Why did we give the whole bag to Cody without giving him a few extras?
I'll bring it back.
What a nice guy.
I'm trying not to chew too loud into the mic, but it is really good.
I would probably get some comments about that, but that's all right.
They will hear.
Isn't that some ASMR, some chewing noises?
They will hear the flavor through the microphone, and they'll understand how it tastes. Yeah, that is really good.
It's really good.
Wow. Yeah, I was amazed how it turned out. I have some other ones that are garlic and pepper, Can't remember, but I have some other like teriyaki one, but I was gonna try to make some sweeter ones. I think I'm not really a sweet person, but I was gonna try to make some like mango flavored ones or something like that. Like you can like mix
mango jalapenos.
Yeah, mango habanero.
I love
habanero.
Yeah. But the problem is I love them so
good.
hot that most people don't really enjoy it. So I tried to not throw
Make
the
them
hot
hot.
stuff.
That way
Yeah.
you just save them for yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
It's really good.
Oh, thank you.
How long?
That's up there with the bacon stuff.
Oh yeah, the fake bacon.
What's the process time like? Would you say how long did it take you?
It's honestly a long time. Like it's multiple days. I'm trying to do it after work, so I have to time it like getting the meat obviously from the Oryx, or I freeze it and then try to thaw it out when I have some time. But like I try to do it right away. That way I don't have to freeze thaw.
Will you pack any of this with you on your hunt? Or is it too
I honestly
heavy?
don't.
You don't ever?
No, but I really want to start doing it.
Oh man, I would.
Yeah.
I for sure would. We've been summoned to go help a friend of GOHUNT with an antelope tag here pretty close to Nevada on Thursday, or pretty close to Vegas, and you were bringing that.
Yeah, I'm definitely bringing it. Like I would probably do it more. I mean, I just picked up a meat slicer. Like Black Friday last year, I picked up some other accessories.
You did?
Yeah.
You're talking like a commercial.
Oh, it's a
meat
commercial
slicer?
one. It's literally
like you
really
see at
expensive.
Arby's.
Yeah. And so now I want to take some of my roast and thicker cuts. And I've always made jerky by grinding it and throwing it in the dehydrator, but I don't like jerky that way because it gets too dry. And that's what, my dad's friend Mike, he just does that thick sliced bacon and throw it in a smoker. And that's why I got a slicer so I can start taking those big cuts and just, slicing it and processing it that way. Because like I said, I do enjoy this right here. This is like obviously I love giant freaking antlers. That's why I hunt for like not the only reason why I hunt. But
There's your clip,
I was gonna say a little side part, but like this
Full stop. There's your clip.
that's my clip. But this though, like, is everything. Like I have a full freezer of meat. We talked about in other pockets. I have 2 full freezers right now, and I'm going to consume all that. Like make a bunch of these, give them to friends, do that. Like that is the sole reason why hunting is everything to me.
Yeah.
Like antlers, love them. This though, I've never bought beef ever in my life. I can say that with full confidence. I've never bought beef because I have so much wild game meat. Turkey, burger, steaks.
I honestly would not be surprised if Brady started making tools out of the bones. You know what I mean? Like he's the guy that's using
My
it all.
nickname when I was working in Montana was Bonesaw.
I don't doubt it. I could see this guy whittling away.
Brady's got lots
Rib
of nicknames.
bones and
Mule, Jesus, Bones. What was the last one?
Birdman?
Birdman.
The Birdman.
That's a new one.
There
That
was
was a new one from the Oryx.
there was another one too. I can't remember, but exotic something.
Oh yeah. What
Brady Exotic.
We came up with that on the last
Yeah,
podcast.
Brady Exotic.
Mr. Exotic, whatever it was.
I like that. All right. Well, that was really tasty.
Sorry for the tangent, everyone.
No,
but
man.
We had
Completely-
Sherricks, we talked about it.
completely
we
worth
still need to
it.
do a grill off. We'll bring some steaks in. Throw them on the
Completely
Traeger.
worth it. We should do a grill off. The end of the year, everybody's, the spoils of your hunts, your labors. We should do a little grill off.
I need
Do
to
some
take that
cooking.
chili competition back.
I will
get
lose
second
first
place.
round, but I will join.
Let's do it. We'll do
Okay,
it.
let's get some Q&As.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop eating into the mic.
Do you want to kick it off, or do you want me to kick it off?
Kick us off, Joe.
All right. So this will only be for me and Lorenzo because Brady doesn't hunt elk.
I'll just eat.
So I had a question. A guy said he's going on an over-the-counter elk hunt. He doesn't plan to do any bugling, only cow calls. What would be your calling strategy? What do you think, Lorenzo? He's only going to use cow calls. Why, and what's your thoughts on that?
I would use a location bugle. Mm-hmm. I'm all for using no bugles, knowing where there is elk, and like when you're into them, I am all for that. That actually is my calling strategy to begin with. But especially on an OTC tag, where probably going to be pounding some timber. It's not going to be not real glassing centric. Not
Probably more pressure.
A lot more pressure. So those location bugles, just those real long, high pitch, just to see where some animals are, I would add that in. Mm-hmm. But in his case, when he's saying cow calls are the only thing he wants to do, I would try to get in as tight as I could and just do real light cow calls if that was my only calling strategy.
Gotcha.
Real light, quick cow calls.
I like it. I mostly use cow calls, I would say. I will say I've used a bugle more in the last couple of years than I ever had prior to that.
I've found myself doing it just for location bugles.
I think it's a lot of it when I thought about the question, I think a lot of people, the reason that people, twofold. One, maybe hunting pressure. So bulls get bugled to a lot.
All the time.
They might, be more highly educated. So maybe in those cases, Very few bugles, just like you're saying, a locator call just to get one going, kind of find out general direction, and then maybe slip it in as close as you think you can, and then using cow calls to kind of coax a bull to you. I think it's a good strategy. I think that's a good. And then two, I think a lot of people just aren't that confident in their bugle, myself included.
That's the beautiful thing about a location bugle.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to sound good.
Yeah. But I would say I've gotten a little bit better. I watched the first draft of this film that we'll put out early September of my elk hunt this last year in Utah. And, granted, Utah's a kind of a different scenario because there's a little less pressure. There aren't as many people. Although I might argue there might be more pressure given the fact that they do over the counter, spiking cow and archery deer on top of it. But I've gotten more confident in my bugling, and I think it's probably a good tool to have just in your quiver. This guy's strategy, when I read the question, I thought, it's a good strategy. I like the strategy, but I would not leave your bugle at home.
I agree.
I would still take your bugle, and I would still learn to be as proficient as you possibly can with it, and I would still utilize locator bugles. I think that's a good option for you. And then I think elk are they're like people. Some days I wake up in the morning and I'm just pissed off. Like I'm just upset. I'm having a bad day. I think elk are the same way. I think elk sometimes they're just like, man, today I'm hot. I'm bothered. I'm bugled. I'm going to get into it, And I think if you got a bugle, you've got that, tool in your toolkit. I think it's a good opportunity to use a bugle. So I would say have a bugle, plan on use it, but I don't hate the strategy either. Just using a locator and a cow call.
Yeah. And I mean, my favorite way to hunt them, like I was saying, is get in tight to them and just do real soft cow calls just to like pique the bull's interest. I'm not doing challenge bugles and I'm not doing all the loud stuff. Yep. I just want to do like a little soft lost cow type cow call. Just see if I can get some interest to just pull them to the back of the herd maybe if I'm trailing them, or maybe get them to circles just to see what's going on. I like the cow only strategy I actually learned that from you in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I really enjoy doing it. I've only done that since. Killing my wife's bull last year, the only reason we killed that bull is just from soft cow calls. That was it. Just real soft, lost cow calls. Nothing loud, nothing.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, they work. I've killed bulls that I didn't call in either. Just using a cow call to kind of keep them going, keep them bugling, and then just worked in. And essentially, I didn't even have to use a call. I didn't have to call him to me. I was just able to get in tight enough that the bull kind of worked. As he's working his cows, he slipped into range, and I shot him. So
that deep timber though, those locator bugles, those are gold.
Yeah. So I
get
would,
to the top, bugle down into the canyon. Just get a general sense.
Yeah, I'd say have both. Have the ability to use both, but I wouldn't leave your bugle at home.
And like you were saying, the confidence of bugling. The beautiful thing about that locator call is that a real bull isn't going to sound like that. You're just trying to drop some of that whistle noise down into the canyon, so it's real long, prolonged. It's like duck calling championships. Ducks don't sound like that. You know what I mean? It's like it's not supposed to mimic exactly what you hear from the bull. Just trying to drop some of that whistle noise down into the canyon to get one to sound off. Yep. Just so you know what direction to start going. Big fan of those.
Cool. We're good with that one. Brady, what you got? Oh, man.
I'm back. All right. Not going to lie. This is exactly what this guy said. You can see right here, word for word. The guy's name is Christian. I've got a couple questions about the best species out there. I mean, we already know he's talking about mule deer, but we'll continue.
Debatable.
Okay. He drew a permit to hunt deer in the rut. Unit is primarily 8K, but goes up in over 10. Back in 2020, good chunk of the unit burned. Curious your thoughts about deer staying higher than typical, even though most of the burn was 9K and up. I know your theory is that bigger mature bucks will stay as high as they can, even though the majority may migrate down, and I agree with that. I guess my main question is, do you think bucks will hole up deep inside the past burn or tend to stay near the edges?
I got a couple thoughts that just spurred me. So my own podcast, The Game Trail, I talked to Jared Knighton.
Yep.
He had a buck. He did a film. I can't remember the name of it, but he had a giant buck.
Velvet. Is it the ghost one?
The ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It's ghost something. I can't remember what exactly.
Yeah, ghost something. But he had a giant buck and he had it in velvet. And they didn't kill that buck that year, but he told me, because I was kind of following up whatever happened to that buck, and I think Connor Rollins killed that buck later on Winter Range, like maybe a year or 2 years later. But he was telling me that year that they hunted that buck in velvet, that buck in December was at like 10.5. Like people knew of that buck. That buck just never came down. Like he was belly deep in snow, like carving out a living up there, right?
Love hearing that.
Yeah. I also think of another buck when I went to Utah State. I had a buddy that picked up sheds off of this buck, and he was a 215-inch buck. That buck in January was 10.5. I mean, 10,000 foot plus, belly deep in snow, same thing. So I think there's some truth to it. I don't think you could throw a blanket over it and say that that's the case for all.
It's not a hard science.
Not a hard science. I do think that late there aren't a lot of people going high.
Yep. Exactly. That's always a hard part, and that's why I think I've found success in some of those later season hunts going higher, because it's harder to go high at that time of year. It's colder, deeper snow. But if he has a burn, like that's a lot of, like it's a 20/20 burn. And so, I think elk for the most part do really well right after a burn. Sure, deer can do well too, but I think for the stuff that deer need, browse and stuff like that, it's going to take a few more years. So right now, it's going to be a 3-year burn. It's probably just getting prime time for some big old bucks.
The thing you get in a burn is you get more open slope.
You can glass it.
You can glass it, but you're also getting more sunlight. So
sunlight to the ground.
The south facing slope at 9,500 foot, where everything else has got snow on it, maybe a bit bared off.
Yeah. So I would tell him, like you said, he agrees with the theory that deer are gonna be high. You agree as well.
I don't totally agree, but I agree to some point.
I hear you.
I don't totally agree either.
But like okay.
There are some big deer that never come down.
I would say there are outliers like those bucks.
And the thing though is, like, I like hunting the outliers because that's going to put me in a chance to find a big mature deer that maybe someone else doesn't know about, because they're going to hunt lower. There's going to be side by sides. There's going to be camps everywhere. So I want to hunt a deer on a deer's own terms, where it's potentially, it's never easy, but maybe easier to kill them. I don't have any competition.
Yeah.
And so I think this, like my theory always is, if they have all the nutritional requirements that a deer needs, the deer will stay high until he has to come down. Yeah, the does might make him come down because the does will start migrating. He has an itch to rut, guys and ladies, they like to follow each other. Yep. But a big old mature deer who maybe something past his breeding age, and he might be a little bit slower coming down for whatever reason, that's the buck I want to hunt. And if he's going to hang out up high and there's going to be a good burn and it's good habitat in that burn, and it's not any crazy thing that might force him down, like, I'm going to go start there. And everyone knows I like to start high and then work right in. So for him, it might be good just to start up there, check it out, feel out the elevation, figure out what elevation band those mule deer are at. Maybe they're in the burn, maybe they're on the edge of the burn. Maybe there's some spots in the middle of the burn that are actually good edge habitat because it didn't get burned as hard or wasn't as intense, or focus on those edges trickling down in some transition zones.
He did say it was a rut hunt, though, right?
Rut hunt, yeah.
So, I mean, in regards to that, like, I would find does. I'd check does. We've talked about this before, but, check does. And then, I mean, if you're talking, pre-rut, post-rut, maybe you're hunting the end of October, the first part of November before those bucks are feeling ruddy. I think you got to decide what you want to do. Like, do you want to see deer?
Or do you want to find one outlier?
Or do you want to potentially, find an outlier? Maybe find an outlier and spend a lot of time looking at.
I've talked to some biologists about it, Colorado specifically. The feed being, Trail, you might know about this pretty well. The feed being frozen is supposedly what dictates if they would stay high. So like even though it's deep snow, if there is some sunlight that's thawing during the day, some of the feed that's sticking out, they don't have to paw very deep, and it actually gets that feed a chance to thaw out a little bit. Whereas if it's cloudy and 15 every day and everything is just dead frozen up top, then those bucks will have to pull off. I don't know if I necessarily believe that they have to, but for the most part, if that feed is completely froze through, I would imagine, the biologist telling me this, I would imagine there is some truth to, like, okay, they're going to start pulling down at that rate.
The one buck I'm thinking of, I know he was eating a lot of mahogany. Like, he was flat eating mahogany, just carving out a living up there. You know what I mean? So but you're right. And there are things on different years. I mean, I think feed dictates pretty much everything. Like, especially you're talking rut, post rut. They got to eat.
Yeah. So even if there is 3 foot of snow, what do you say it goes to? 10.5? What do you say?
Yeah, it goes up to 10, over 10.
Yeah, over 10.
Primarily units 8K.
If they get 2 big snow dumps and it's over 3 foot of snow, but it's warming up to 35, 45 degrees, and some of that feed has a chance to thaw out, there probably is a better probability of one of those outliers staying up top and just being a buck on his own.
I wouldn't put all your eggs in that basket, but I would think about it.
Yeah, you never want to throw all the eggs in.
And
anything.
again, it's year to year. It's going to depend on what kind of snow you get, how cold it is.
And the nice thing too about a big burn, and if there is snow on it, you can glass for tracks. You can see if the animals are there or not there. You'll know pretty quickly if there's anything.
You said something like a burn will, produce big bulls, but there was kind of some hesitation about bucks. But burns produce big bucks.
No, I said during the...
you look at the Henrys. The Henrys was the Henrys because of that burn there for a few years.
Burns are essential for mule deer. But I think the timing of when it's best for mule deer is a little bit more delayed than for elk. Elk is like they can go in a month afterwards and it's prime time.
Because it's more of a grass.
Yep.
Yeah. And time of year. You're right. I agree. Cool. Edges, though, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I got one for you. You ready? This is a good one. You guys are going to dig this. You ready? All right. Guy says, going on my first solo backcountry elk hunt, I'm a little nervous about the solo part. Do you have any tips or tricks for a solo backpack hunt perspective of being alone that long?
How many days did he say?
Didn't say. But what are your thoughts on hunting alone, being alone, whether it's a weekend or 10 days?
Weekend for me is sounds like heaven to be alone for a
like
weekend.
Vacation.
Yeah. 10 days, that's a grind for sure.
So what is it? I mean, what gets to you at 10 days?
Now at this point in my life is my family and just not having that outlet to talk. When you're in hunting camp, you find those outlets of when you are missing your family, you tell your hunting partner about your family. You know what I mean? You talk about them and it kind of gives you that connection back to what you're missing at home and what you're sacrificing to be there, and talking about it gives you a sense of connection to them. So solo for that many days, that's where I'm coming from, is a grind of not having that outlet to tell somebody about my kid, what he's into now, what he's doing. If I am in reach texting him, being able to tell him oh, he was at wrestling practice today and he did this, whatever it was, just to have that, outspoken verbal connection to him. But like I said, the weekend, that sounds
nice.
Like a vacation for me.
What tips and tricks do you have, Brady, for being alone that long?
So I fully think that this day and age is easier to be alone in the mountains for a lot longer. Way easier than ever was. I don't have, any...
I think it's harder.
That's way easier. I'll explain. Way easier trail.
Okay, we can debate this.
Okay. What do we have in our pockets at all times? We have a little, basically mini computer.
A Rogue. Just kidding.
Yes. A can of Rogue, for sure.
So we have cell phones. All right. Nowadays, what can you do with your family and kids? Well, you can take videos of them. You can take videos of them doing random things. You can go back and watch said videos. You can get inspiration for why you're up there from watching those videos. You can see your kids. You can see your wife, in a sense. You could maybe record a video before you go out and watch that video every single day to stay motivated. We have podcasts we can listen to. We can download offline, Netflix, Amazon Prime, watch them in the shelter at night to feel like you're kind of at home. We have in-reach device, satellite messengers. We can message them.
You can download movies and watch them. You and Omar, like you guys did.
We did.
You can put it on your all-in adapter and turn your scope sideways.
That's the biggest pro tip ever. Put the all-in on Swaro, and you can watch Austin Powers.
Do you do that by yourself? You watch movies?
No,
ever?
Not by myself.
No.
I listen to music.
Okay.
But low volume music. But that's the thing. You can get caught into a thing where you crank that music too high, and now you're spooking animals in the area.
Sure.
But that's why I think it's so much easier now, because I can go on my phone, I can start writing notes to myself. I like to write. So I write a lot of my thoughts on there and stay disconnected, stay focused on what I'm actually doing, stay motivated. Where back in the day, you had nothing. Mm-hmm. It was just you and the mountains.
So those are all good tips to keep your mind right,
Those are good tips. And that's how, if this is a 10-day hunt that he's going on, that's how I would keep my mind right. If he is a family man like myself, I'm just putting myself into the situation. Mm-hmm. It's okay, if I am going solo for 10 days, I need to stay motivated. I can't, peter out quick and get homesick and go home. So having those videos of my kid and having those videos of my family and doing fun things, it reminds you as your mind is kind of wandering that you want to leave.
I was going to say, it's harder because you have a constant reminder. Inevitably, if you got a phone in your pocket, you get back to your tent at night and you're alone, you're going to pull out your phone, you're going to start scrolling through your photos, photos, right? You're going to, look at pictures of your kids or whatever it is. And,
get more homesick.
Yeah. You get more homesick. And then you brought up an inReach device, right? So you've got an inReach device now. You can satellite message home. It's really great. It's great for the same reason probably equally as bad
Oh, yeah.
for the
Equally as
opposite,
bad.
because you're getting updates like, hey, Owen had a great game today, did this,
Had the best game he's ever had.
Yeah. Landon asked somebody to homecoming or whatever it is. And you're like, man, these are moments I'm missing. So I'm starting to miss it. You know what I mean? And so I think in those same regards, sometimes it just makes it harder.
It's definitely a double-edged sword because it can, like I said, it can make it
Go
good. Or
both
something
ways.
always happens when you leave. So you're going to get that in-race meshes. Now you have to figure it out or do something up on the mountain.
Yeah, what I'm coming to, this is a super personal question, right? Because everybody's motivated differently and feels, whether it's guilt or sacrifice, whatever that feeling is that you have that's drawing you back home, everyone feels it differently in a different way. So it's kind of hard to answer if, like, this is a really personal one. So for me, for 10 days, I would have to check out a little bit to stay out there for 10 days, like you're saying. Because thinking through this, day 4 or 5 and hunt goes the wrong way and make a couple mistakes. My mind, I'm just speaking for myself, I would start going, what am I doing out here? Why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Like, this is too much sacrifice. I need to pack up. When really, it's your one hunt, your one September, whatever it is for that year, you should stick it out. And it's whatever way you can stay focused on that. And I would have to check out to stay focused.
So as I was thinking about the question, I had a couple thoughts. One of them being, before you leave, I think anything that you can do in your personal life to like shore it up, to make it better while you're out there, so that you're not worrying about.
So you can check out?
Yeah, so you can check out. So if you're worrying about your bills being paid, you can definitely talk yourself, financially, saying, oh, I need to go home because I need to deal with finance A, B, and C, right? So your job, so if you're going to go back to work and you're going to have, beef with your boss or whatever because you were out for so long, or your coworkers and they were like, hey, we were having to pick up the slack for while you were out. So anything that you can do in regards to your work and your family, your finance, to like shore those up. And, it's, what is it? Clear hearts, full minds can't lose. Or,
Something like that.
Is that that football TV show or whatever it was?
The Tom Brady saying.
There's either, I can't remember, what was the football movie, high school show that always said it. Do you remember it was in Texas, Midland? It might have been Varsity
Friday
Blues.
Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah,
Friday Night Lights. But there's a lot of truth in that.
For sure.
Yeah, clear hearts, get your mind right.
If you don't have those ties pulling you back.
Yeah, if you don't have those ties, it's a whole lot easier to stay out there. You can't talk yourself, into going home early. The other thing I think, and I kind of suggested to this guy, bite it off in chunks. Like, so I think on you've made fun of me before, but the back of my bow, I've got win the day written on the back of my bow. And most of that was to do with like, food choices and just eating shitty. Right. But, I think you bite it off in chunks. If I just need to win today, and then tomorrow I need to win tomorrow, and even if it's 2 hours or 5 hours, whatever that chunk of time is, like win that time and then bite off the next chunk after it. You do it day at a time, you start stacking it in, and pretty soon you've kind of forgot about everything other than your main focus, which is to kill an animal.
It's actually a good point to have, and that works for you, having that on your bow. And I could see why, because like I said, me personally, if I'm 5-6 days back away from my family and I made a couple mistakes, I would start, right? I would start to have those draws back. But if I did have that reminder of something like win the day, it's like, okay, but I did learn something. Right? I am on them. It could completely flip that mental, that battle to a positive side. If you did have a little tick like that you could constantly look at and rely on.
If you look at a 10-day hunt as a big chunk, it's like, it's hard. It's like overwhelming. And you can basically tell yourself within the first 6 hours of a hunt, this is never going to happen, because it seems like it won't ever. Like you literally think, especially when you're bow hunting, you're like, this is never going to happen. This thing I'm going to do, it's impossible. I might as well just bail right now. Right. Yeah. But if you do that, you don't allow yourself that like sliver of opportunity where it might come together and it might work. So you bite it off in chunks. Like, what did I learn today? What did I do well today? Like, saw that animal, you know what I mean? Like I keep track of, like I was telling you earlier, deer that I've seen, I didn't find the one I'm looking for, but I'm seeing deer. I'm in the game,
It's a really good piece of advice.
Bite it off in chunks.
Yeah, and you mentioned your little quote on your bow that I poked fun at you at the other day.
I know you, yeah.
But like I'll admit I have the same thing.
I'm gonna write that on some piece of gear that you've got and just send you out, just unknowingly, a little Easter egg for you to find.
But like you saw, I shared, or Ryan, who I went orc hunting with, he shared a photo, and I always have a wristband. My wristband says success is a state of mind. Yeah, it's something that motivates me every single day when I'm out there. It's that same sort of thing. I just don't have it on my bow. I have it on my wrist.
We're gonna put it on your gun.
Bow's not as cool.
Yeah.
But,
I'm gonna write it in Sharpie on your scope.
right on the
So
objective
down
lens.
the lens, yeah, you look into it. It's gonna say win the day in your scope.
Yeah.
I'm so much more real about this than you guys though, because I have a tattoo
Yeah,
that says
Yeah,
turtle
see,
power.
we all have different things.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm
I
gonna
have,
get
I have a
tattoo
tattoo
one
right
day.
here on my wrist that says turtle power from everything my son's been through, and
Yeah.
he had to fight through it and got through it, and it's kind of my day-to-day thing. But on hunts, this is actually like it is one of those ties back to me where it's like, man, everything he's been through, like I need to get back to him. You know what I mean? So it kind of like flips on me a little bit when I go hunting, which is interesting.
right.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to really answer this person without actually
Yeah,
knowing
it's
their.
tough.
I always tell myself, "Oh, my kids would want me out here." I'm probably lying to myself. I'm like,
Do you say my kids want me out here?
want
my
this
kids
for
would
me.
want me. They
Yeah.
would want me out here. My kids love me. They would want the best for me. And what I
Yeah.
really want is to kill this buck or bull. They would love this for me.
I
Which is
do.
partly true. I would
It-
want them. I mean, if you think about your own kids, I would want nothing more than my kid to win a state championship in basketball.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Whatever it took for him to do that, because I know how bad he wants it.
Yeah.
Like, I think they would want that for me too. Like this goal that I have, I think because I think they like me.
Yeah.
I think they would want it for me.
I do very much agree with that. As a parent, there is nothing I personally think you could do better for your kids than show them you set a goal, you sacrificed, and you accomplished.
You achieved
right?
it.
Like that's the best example you could set for a kid, and that goes in all forms of life. But hunting is just kind of those condensed ones that happen. You know, it's only 10 days. You show them my sacrifice. This is what I did. This is my passion in life. I chase it, and I sacrificed
achieved
all
it.
this stuff, and I
This is
achieved
how
it.
awesome it feels.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
That
Good one.
was a good one.
Thanks, man.
That was a
Enjoyed
good
that
one.
What do you got? Well, not that good, I bet.
Now this guy's gonna feel bad.
I'm just kidding.
No, this one's a really good one. So this one we've talked about on the podcast quite a bit. Made fun of myself. You guys have made fun of me. This guy's name is Nathaniel. So kind of a weird question. Do you still drink a lot of water while out hunting or hiking? I literally don't drink much water and could put a lot of miles down, very little water. I always hate the way it feels, drinking a lot. Only
got
drink
a
when the mouth
story.
feels dry. Dude goes on, he went on an 8-mile hike, doing a bunch of giant peaks in Colorado, and he doesn't think he only drank maybe a quarter of a 3-liter bladder. What are your thoughts on this? I have a high country archery deer tag, and everyone seems to be worried about me not drinking enough. Only reason I brought it up is because you guys were talking about it on the Big Hunt Guys podcast.
So I'm going to answer. I got a story for this one too. And then I want to hear what you have
Oh,
to say.
yeah. I got a lot.
So Friday
I got a
night,
lot on that,
I
too.
hiked in. I already told you I packed water, right?
Yeah.
Packing a lot of water, and I'm planning to stay for a few days. So I'm trying to conserve water, right? I get in there. I go to bed that night. I wake up at 3 a.m. with like the most pounder of a headache that I've had in a really long time. I'm dehydrated. Like I know it already, you know? So I drink a bunch of water. I take a couple Tylenol. I lay there for probably another hour and a half. I go back to sleep for another hour and a half, and then I get up and go hunting, and I felt great the rest of the day. But I know for a fact, like I was dehydrated and water, and you got to have water. Like I'm of the opinion now, I'm kind of like you. I have been like why I try to conserve water, but you definitely have to have water and enough water to perform. So for me, I got to have water.
Are you supplementing with some electrolytes?
I hadn't then. No, I mean,
I think that's a game changer.
yeah. Do you think that's the big difference?
Yeah. But do you have anything else? Sorry.
Nope,
I don't wanna
that's
cut you
it.
off.
I'll take home, drink water.
Okay. Yeah. So last year, I made that gallon challenge. How long did you go, Trail? You've been.
I gave it to the time period, but I haven't been good since.
Yeah. I've been fairly.
I met my goal.
You quitters.
I've been fairly good. I carry on that gallon or half gallon jug all the time. I fill it up twice a day. I drink a lot of it in the evening. But I still don't know fully if I feel the benefits because now. So I used to always say, I live at a constant state of dehydration that my body just naturally knows what to do. It's always dehydrated. So I never really need a lot of water. When I get water, I just perform a little bit better, but I'm always dehydrated. So I know what my body does when I go in the mountains. I don't need extra water. All right.
I've never believed this.
Okay. Yes, I
this
know. I know. It's
anecdotal science.
unhealthy. I know
This
if you
is
listen to
bro
Huberman
science.
Lab, all
Bro
that
science.
stuff. Like I've listened to his podcast on hydration. It kind of changed my thoughts a little bit. But so lately, this whole year, when I've been drinking a gallon of water a day, now I realize I crave water. I need water to actually perform. Where before I was still able to perform with lower water, but now if I try to perform without that water, I have a harder time
So
performing
you've
at the
gone
levels I would.
backwards in your mind.
In a way, I kind of have, So I'm not sure exactly fully what it is. I'm also working out more than I ever have, lifting more weights and running. So that's probably going to be a thing as well. So I do probably need that water a little bit more. So I think it's a balancing point, but I will agree with him though. Like it's hard for me on a hunt to put water down. I will just keep going and I'll forget to drink water. But when I drink it, it definitely helps. But for me, I think it's more sleep than water. And again, I'm not a scientist. I'm probably bass backwards in a lot of things in life. You guys all know me. But if I can get more sleep, I can combat less water. I feel more recovered. But yeah, if I get really dehydrated, my mouth is dry, that's when I really need the water, or else I know some bad's going to happen. But if I'm at that mediocre point, I'll conserve a lot of water to keep pushing and keep going further.
I would say 2 things. Drink when you're thirsty. So pay attention to it. And I don't know how old this guy is, but I know that the older I've gotten, the more like in tune with my body I feel. So like what I eat, what I drink, I could definitely, like the results, I can feel it pretty quick. So I would say, pay attention, as cliche as this sounds, like pay attention to your body. And I'm concerned for him. I would drink more water if I were him.
But that's why I've also said that like supplement thing's big. I always do salt pills.
Yeah.
Try to get as much soda in as possible, and now supplement that with some powder and water.
What do you think, Lorenzo? You're nutrition guy, water guy.
Just totally debunk me right now. Put me in my place.
Yeah, your science of constant state of dehydration. That science doesn't work like that.
I know it's not really good.
He said he doesn't like the feeling of drinking a bunch of water.
Yeah, he doesn't like the feeling of drinking a lot when he's on a hike or on a hunt.
I don't think you drink a lot. I think beforehand.
And if you drink a lot in one sitting to try to get water in, to then just not think about it, you're going to feel like shit and kind of have that slosh feeling in your stomach, which I don't like to drink water before I work out in the morning for that same reason. I just don't like that slosh in my stomach. However, immediately after, I drink at least a half gallon before I even get into the office. Because water, the hydration is your entire body obviously runs off of hydration. You can live 3.5 days without water, but you can live however long without food. Like it is essential in all parts of body performance, cognitive function. It is everything is the hydration of the body, especially when you're talking about performance in the backcountry, because muscle is what is going to help you do everything back there, right? Like nothing is easy in the backcountry. And if you're not properly hydrated, then your muscles aren't going to be working right. Yep. Now your salt pills and all that stuff, if you are going to drink less water, you have got to take some type of sodium. And the going rate of sodium for, like, let's just say the average on a bell curve is 1,200 milligrams per hour of sweating workout. Like if you just have a light sweat, for however many hours you had that light sweat is 1,200 milligrams per the hour of that. Does that make sense?
Math.
And that is going to help you hold the water that you've taken in, or at least hold it into the, the muscles and the functions of your body that you do need to help you hold that little bit of water you've taken. But then you talked about sleep. Sleep, the sleep is directly correlated to your resting heart rate, like the type of sleep you're going to get. So if your resting heart rate gets lower, you're going to get better sleep. Your body's going to recover better. Water is directly correlated to that. So being properly hydrated is going to allow your heart, intestines, all of that stuff to relax a little bit and actually flush all the work that you've done from that day, being properly hydrated. And I mean, I would imagine a lot of people know this, but I don't know. Breathing is how your exhale is where you lose the most amount of water possible. So if you are doing active work and you're breathing heavily, just because you've only peed twice doesn't mean you've already lost 20x the amount of water from that pee just from your breathing. And if you're at elevation, your respiratory rate is raised
you're
even, right? So it's kind of a double whammy. Is you're at elevation, so your respiratory rate just at your resting heart rate is higher, going to lose more water, and then you put the active, the active count on top of that, and it kind of multiplies. So I am concerned for this guy if that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, because he said he did an 8-mile hike climbing 13,000 peaks in Colorado. In an 8-mile hike.
So what he's doing,
and he's only did a quarter of a 3-liter bladder.
So what he did, he pushed that day, and you can do that.
Yeah.
The next day is where you're going to suffer. So that's the thing with hydration is the day you're doing it, you can push through, you can get through a lot of it. But the next day is
That's when you
compounding. You're already so dehydrated now going into that next day. And then if you do that again, you're even more dehydrated going into the third day. And it just compounds on itself. So now your sleep's getting worse, cognitive function's getting worse. Muscle and flushing lactic acids and all those things that you need to do to recover to actually perform the next day. That's what you're putting at risk by being dehydrated. The biggest thing I could say is, and the best way to drink, Andrew Huberman, Peter Attia, all these guys, just drink a little bit of water all throughout the day. And that's where you don't get that slosh in your gut. Where that's where you don't
drink
get
when
that.
you're thirsty.
Drink when you're thirsty.
A little bit.
And just drink a little more than you think. So like, if you kind of put your thirst at bay, just drink a little bit more to the point where you don't have the slosh feeling, but you still just took in a little bit more water.
Yeah, I was listening to his Huberman Labs podcast when I was up elk scouting, and he was saying something about that first 10 hours when you wake up. That's the most important for getting your hydration. Do you ever, a little side tangent though, do you ever feel like on a cold hunt, like late November hunt, you drink less water?
Yeah.
I always say, like, for whatever reason, I just
Absolutely.
don't drink as much as I should in the summer months.
For sure.
I just forget.
Is
there a reason for that?
A lot of the time,
it's cold.
Yeah,
It's cold.
and a lot of the time is the water's cold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like drinking cold when you're dehydrated, drinking cold water is very hard. That's why I like room temperature water.
Yeah.
I mean, I am by no means a scientist here, but I am, for my own regard, very well versed in nutrition and all this stuff, just so I can help perform. So I hope that all made sense. But I mean, what you're doing when you're not drinking water is you're just completely fucking up the next day. That's all you're doing. And that's so like for I don't know how many days he can push like that, but I can guarantee you day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, it's only going to get worse.
It's going to catch up with them.
It's only going to get worse.
That's good thoughts. I have one more thing. Seen a mule deer get a lot of their water from vegetation. I think I'm like a mule deer. That's why I don't need a lot of water all the time. 'Cause I get it from my food.
You're packing celery and eating that. And
Yep.
What food are you eating that has water?
there's no food you're eating with water.
The random thought came to my head, and I was like, mule deer get their water from the vegetation. I get my water from the food I eat during the day. That's why I don't need a lot of extra
Brady
water.
on all fours out there just grazing.
Yeah.
Eating some grass, some forbs.
And the other thing too about hydration is the delivery of nutrients that you just ate. So if you are dehydrated, even though you're eating nutrients, it's not bioavailable within your stomach because you don't have the water to take it and actually transport it to where it needs to go. So that's another huge thing.
Drink water.
We've had a lot of people write in that we need to do some more nutrition and podcasts, and that right there was pure gold. I mean,
That was good.
We need to expand on that.
I would
That was really
love to get Peter Attia on here.
That was
would
really
be
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Let's reach out to that guy.
He's a bow hunter right here.
He's into archery. He's not so much a bow hunt. I mean, he does bow hunt, but
Gotcha.
he's much more of an
Archery.
archer. He loves to shoot archery.
There you go. All right, this one's not nearly as complex, but it is interesting. And you guys have a lot of experience with this, so I thought I'd ask. Do you guys have any tips for flying with a weapon, bow or rifle? I've never done it before, but I'm going to be. I know that you're going to be. You have a number of times. I have a number of times.
And I'm going to be as well.
And you're going to be as well. What tips and tricks do you got for flying with a weapon?
Where do we start?
I mean,
I got a great place to start.
start at the case.
Okay, yeah. So the biggest thing to me is if you have a bow, don't get a bow shaped case. Reason why? Those TSA agents, bless their heart, they might see that as a weapon and they might decide to throw it on really rough. Where if you just have a rectangular shaped case, like a rifle case can still fit a bow in it very, very well. It can fit all your gear, some optics in there. It's going to be probably treated a little bit better because it could be a guitar, it could be something else. You never really know what it is, but I think a bow shaped case just sets yourself up for
You know,
you're a
profile
hunter.
with it?
You're a hunter.
Profile.
You have
You're being profiled.
you have something expensive in here. We're going to treat it badly. All
I
right.
think they do that on purpose.
Yeah.
You do. You think they're chucking it?
Yeah.
They're like,
And-
let's see what we can put this through.
And the second big tip is when you put your whatever bow, rifle, like I will set my rifle in there. I will put a rifle scope cover on my rifle to help add some extra padding to that rifle.
What kind of case are you getting though?
I have an SKB double rifle case.
Okay. You?
I have a
you know?
Pelican something.
Mine's a Pelican too, a V37. And again,
I don't know what the model is. It's Pelican something.
Mine's a rifle case that I took the foam out. Actually, what I did is I laid my bow on the foam and then I used just an X-Acto knife and cut the shape of my bow out.
Yep.
And then I've got a base layer of foam in it. I lay my bow in it, which now is the exact shape of my bow because I've cut it out. And then I layer everything in it. But that's what I use. It's a hard-sided case for sure with locks.
Hard-sided case with locks for sure. And then I am a huge proponent of buying an oversized case and making that your suitcase. So like when I'm going to Canada with this bow case, what I'll do is I'll have my bow into the case itself, and then I'll put my hunting clothes, and I'll kind of build a little like secondary rest for it, and have my sight not pressed against anything, so my sight's kind of free floating. Each limb, the curve of the limb is kind of sitting on the clothes, if I'm making sense there. And then put all my optics, put everything into that case, and I try to get my bow to sit as like sturdy as possible with the sight still free flowing. Does that make sense?
Sure. That's a great thing about a lot of your bows and sights now is that most of them are dovetail. Like you've got a Matthews bow, you've got the integrated riser with the dovetail. You can just pull the whole sight out, and then I've got this UltraView sight, the brand new one, which the whole head is detachable. You just pull the head off of the actual dovetail itself. So I could still leave the dovetail in the bow if I wanted to, but then I can take the whole head off. I could put the whole head, and I probably would if I was flying with it. I'd put the whole head in my carry-on.
Yeah.
Like I just
you use the new stuff though. I'm on old school stuff.
Yeah,
I'm on the old school shit.
But I'm saying the point being is like take the precautions to remove what what you can. Anything that could get bumped, and it's going to be off. If you can take it off, take it off.
I'm using 2016 stuff.
Yeah,
I can't
sure,
change.
Yeah,
I can't change.
Yeah.
So my precaution is man, I spend a lot of time building a little
nest.
fort, a little nest for my bow. And I use my gear accordingly. My down pants jacket, I use beanie, cover the sight. I do this little care for them, put a little nest in the bow. That's really all that matters. And then I use the rest of the oversize for optics, tripod, everything. And I try to shove it on each side of the cam so it can't float north and south within the bow case. Make sense? Yeah. And then I try to do as much as I can in that case to just make sure there's no movement from any direction. Yep. And then just keep my fingers crossed and pray that there's not an anti-hunter or something that's throwing my bow case around.
A few other tips I had, like my broadheads, I always take those off. I always put those in a safe case, separate case, so that they can't rattle free. I definitely don't want to cut a string, so I don't leave my arrows put together with broadheads. I'll put my arrows together when I arrive. Yep. I always number my arrows with my broadhead so that when I get to camp, I can screw on the broadhead to the arrow that I've, designed, put together. So I put those together. So anything that I'm like hyper focused on two things, like my cams and my strings. So I give those as much padding as I possibly can.
Because you can detach your sight.
Yeah. I can take a sight off. I could take stabilizers off, but like you end up getting a string or a cable cut in that process somehow, like you're effed.
Or a cam tilted.
Or a cam bent. Yeah, you're screwed.
Would you ever go so far as, this is going way out there, but TSA agent opens your bow case, touches your bow, whatever, someone else has to touch your bow. Would you ever put zip ties on your cable so your bow can't be drawn?
No, but it's not a bad idea.
So I saw that tip from Sierra Langbow.
That's a great
idea.
idea.
Actually a phenomenal
really
idea.
good idea.
And I guarantee you I am doing that for Canada.
I thought you were going to say put like some sort of electric shock through the riser.
No, I saw she did a story, I think it was a couple years ago, because she travels a lot and goes on these awesome hunts. But I saw she put zip ties on there, and I was like, that is genius.
A good idea.
So you never know who's going to touch your bow or pick it up when they're checking things out if they are going to try to do something. You don't know that person.
A couple of Instagram thing and wants to see if they can pull a bow back. Don't do that to mine.
Yeah, or you get to camp and someone else is has your bow and they're going to pick it up for the first time and try to draw it back. It's going to prevent it. Obviously, make sure they're tight so it's not rubbing up and down.
What about getting through TSA with a rifle or a handgun? Say you're going on a bow hunt, you've got a handgun with you as your personal protection. You're going to Alaska, or you've got you're going to Alaska, you're rifle hunting. Any tips for getting through TSA with a rifle or a handgun?
I think it's super easy. It's a lot easier than
what's the process?
So I just walk up. I find the special items area. Usually it's a faster line, so I'm always benefit about that. And I go sit right in there because if I go try to pick up my baggage tags, it's going to say. If I select I have a firearm, it's not going to let me pick them up. I have to go there anyway. So I just go right over there. So I have to check in a firearm. I try not to say, hey, I got a gun I got to check in. I say firearm. Try to use the terms that they agree with. And then it's simply they just ask you, hey, is your rifle in there? Is there any ammo in there? I say no. Is there any ammo in the magazine? I say no. Sometimes I'll ask you.
Your ammo has to be stored separately.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it has to be stored separately in either a plastic, metal, or there's normal cardboard that you came in. You can't. You probably could get through with it like in a GOHUNT like ammo wallet, but suggest you definitely don't want your ammo just
What do
floating
you put
around.
yours in?
I have a little small like tiny SKB case that I have little foam inserts in that I can set in there. And ammo doesn't touch each other, doesn't bounce around. Or I have a little MTD. Gosh, I think it's MTD. Little ammo box is plastic and it has the same sort of thing. And I'll put a little bit of foam at the top to protect the tip so they're not rattling as well. And then I'll put strips of foam in between all the bullets as well, the bullet tips, so that way they're not rattling. I have to every precaution I can because my ammo is everything.
I do the same thing with arrows.
Yeah,
Foam.
Yeah, foam
Keep them
everywhere.
separated.
Still ask you. Sometimes I've had them, pull out your magazine. I'll pull out the magazine. I try to go one step further because I know a lot of these people don't understand the process. I've had some people tell me totally backwards things when I go to TSA, and I'm like, no, actually, if you look at the TSA website, it'll say this. All my weapon is totally fine. They're like, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that, and I try to help them through it. But I'll even take my bolt out of my rifle and put one of those child safety locks on, the little cable locks. So I'm like, hey, this can't even be fired anyway. Keys are over here, totally separate from there. I have my bolt sitting there. Sometimes I'll even bring 2 bolts to have one in there, and I'll have one in a different area. That way, something happens to my bolt because obviously it's gonna be sitting in my case. That's all dialed. I bring extra locks, even though my gun case has 2 locks on the outside. One of them are TSA locks. Other ones are not TSA. You can use TSA locks or you can not use TSA locks. Doesn't really matter. Some people say you have to, but you really don't. It just makes it sometimes easier if they have to get into it. Use a TSA lock. And I try to find the locks that you can't really break. They're actually specifically for a gun case or bow case, so that more burly. So I carry those extra ones. Make sure I have backup keys. That's a big thing too. If you're going to put a lock on something, have backup keys tested out ahead of time. If it's a combination lock, write your combination in your phone in your notes somewhere so you know it, or tell your friend if you're flying with them, hey, this is a combination to it if you have to get into it. And then, like I said, make sure ammo separately. And then, like Lorenzo said, stack everything up around it. But when you get there, I guess we'll talk about the process. Then you have to sign a little piece of paper like you're declaring that there's no, this is your weapon or whatever, and there's no ammo in there. And then you put that on there. They'll fold it all up. Usually they say, hey, we're going to go for a little walk. And then you have to go for a little walk back around. You'll go back in this little room a lot of times, and you'll watch the TSA agent put your
when
firearm.
you got strip searched?
Yeah, that's when you have to get strip searched.
No, that didn't really happen.
No, you watch the TSA agent put your weapon through the little scanning thing. They'll scan it all, and then they'll either tell you you're good to go, or they'll say, hey, just sit outside and wait for 15, 20 minutes, and we'll come walk over there. And that's why I always suggest, they say, show up for a flight 2 hours early. If I'm flying with a firearm, I'm 3 hours early. Yep. Maybe even 3.5 hours early. I like sitting in the airport. I like people watching, and I like drinking coffee and like reading a book.
Well, and you got one thing. You just got to get your stuff there.
You got to get through it.
Who cares if you're wasting a little extra time?
Plan ahead.
Yeah, it's not a hard process, but it is kind of a nerve-wracking thing. If you've never done it before, you want to make sure everything's safe. And if you're doing a sidearm as well, like how to make that work. But just have everything dialed, have everything protected, like Lorenzo says. Put all your clothes in there. I'll even take my glassing pad and put it on areas of my rifle to help, like he's saying, make sure nothing moves around.
Yeah.
We actually did a big article on GOHUNT too. I think I did a video as well. It's called "How to Safely and Efficiently Fly with Your Rifle or Bow."
Cool.
So you guys can look up that one.
The good secret sauce in there is finding the specialty or the oversized line. That's the one to go to for sure. And then the other big thing too that I've noticed is if you are prepared with the rules and laws to help, because you got to think these TSA agents, how many of them checked in weapons or firearms? If you are a little more brushed up and you can kind of help them through it, it goes a long ways.
Yeah, because you're confident. They're going to be confident.
Exactly.
They understand your thing. You're not just some random person trying to sketch a firearm onto an airplane. Like your stuff.
I will say flying in the lower 48, like flying to Alaska, I've had no problem getting there. I've had and I wouldn't say I've had issues coming back from Alaska, but it's definitely a more lengthy process for whatever reason, like flying from Anchorage to Seattle. Those TSA agents in Anchorage, for whatever reason, they like to go through things with a fine-tooth comb. And I've had some really long exchanges where people pulled handguns apart, searched everything. I've almost missed flights. So, the tip on planning ahead and having ample amount of time is pretty key.
Yeah, and when you're coming back from a hunt, that's where you really have to make sure you don't have any ammo on.
Ammo,
not in a magazine.
Carry-on.
Carry-on, anything.
I got a story for you.
Oh gosh.
Did you have a handgun and carry-on?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Recently?
No.
You're now on the TSA watch list?
I was, for sure.
Lost it?
So I was hunting elk in Montana. And, elk, I'm in college. I'm looking to have a good time as well. elk season happens to be during college football. College football games are really fun to go to. And I had a friend of mine, my roommate, Miles Suberg, and he had a connection to University of Texas. So we were going down to the University of Texas game. We were going to go party in Austin and have a good time. We were hunting elk beforehand. And, I'm in college, not thinking completely straight because there's other things that you're having fun with, you know, so you just kind of lose track of what's going on. I was hunting elk till it was Tuesday, through the weekend till Tuesday, had a sidearm on me. And put it in my backpack when I was just done hunting. You know, you just kind of throw everything back in your truck and go. Put it back in my backpack. And that's the other thing too, is whenever I hunt like that, like where we're going on Thursday, I always bring just a backpack of just clothes, you know, just extra clothes, whatever. So when you get back to the truck, you just kind of have fresh athletic gear to change into. And I put my gun back in that bag. And go back to school Wednesday, Thursday, leaving Friday morning. Thursday's a big night to party in Missoula. Obviously went out that night. Why not? I was in college and grabbed that backpack early Friday morning, taking the first flight out of Missoula. And I just didn't go through that bag. I just took those clothes out, threw new clothes back in, grabbed that carry-on, and I'm not checking a bag, nothing. It was just a quick trip, go down and watch a UT football game, have some fun in Austin, come back. I go through the Missoula TSA, and I'm standing there, and it's pretty quiet. I don't know if anybody's you've definitely flown through Missoula. It's super quiet in the morning, and I'm sitting there, no big deal, going through TSA check, goes through the x-ray thing. Next thing I know, it's like real quiet, and there's like some whispering going on between the two TSA agents, and then 2 more TSA agents, 5 more TSA agents, a bunch more TSA agents. There had to have been 15 or 20 of them there. And I'm like, man, this is really weird. Never had this happen. And then it finally clicked in my head. I'm like, holy shit, that gun's in there. You know what I mean? You just kind of have those flashes.
You're starting to work it
like,
through.
I never took that gun out.
Yeah.
So I ran over there. I'm like, hey, I know exactly what's going on. Made it worse. And instead of just letting
it made it worse?
Oh, yeah. Me going to pressure them, I should have just stayed back and acted dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think it would be like, hey, I know what happened.
I'm just
I have a handgun.
That's what I did.
Yeah, that's
but if
what I
I would
would
have just played stupid the whole time, well, the TSA, they got real jumpy that I like was to them, you know, voice was obviously elevated, trying to say like, hey, I know exactly what happened. The gun's in there. Now they're thinking I'm just caught or something. I don't know. Anyways, take me back into this room, all white room, all white walls, white everything, questioning me about everything, who I am, what I'm doing. Am I really a hunter? What do you know about hunting? I even had a guy asking me about elk. I'm in Montana.
He's looking for a spot.
Yeah, he's looking for a spot, but he was kind of like pressing me to make sure I am a hunter, you know? So I was telling him this, and that. 2-3 hours later, it finally calmed down that it was truly just an accident. And then I had, for like months after that, I had a Detective Moss from the FBI would call me randomly, just totally random, and ask me questions to make sure it was all staying. I finally caught on after like the 3rd or 4th time. 6 months later, it's a 4th call from Detective Moss.
Right.
He's asking me the same questions in a different way. I'm like, dude, I'm on a list.
Wow.
Yeah. And then every time I traveled from there,
did you lose that gun?
No, I got it back.
No kidding.
And I had a pocket knife in there too, which made it worse.
Nowadays, I don't know if you'd keep it.
No, nowadays. This is back in 2000.
Fines. You're talking.
This is 2008.
Yeah.
It was a long time. And in Montana, if I would have done that in Vegas, who knows? But I was definitely on a list because every time I traveled from then on out, I was always like, it can't be coincidence that you're just a random guy every time from here on out.
Well,
and I was definitely on a list for sure.
Yeah, PSA, don't fly with the hand. Don't
I
check
did
your
it,
carry-on.
and it was scary. Being in that room and being questioned like pretty hardcore in the very first part of it, because I didn't know how much trouble I was in.
Yeah.
Wow, that was an interesting.
And a big fine now, right?
Huge.
I
fine.
think it's like a 5 or 7.
Thanks,
like that.
Thanks, Dad. That was a big fine.
Yeah.
My dad was like, "What the fuck?" Well, I got it.
I have a few more tips on there because I think it's an interesting subject. So as I'm talking about the safety thing, like having not a bow case specifically for a bow and a rifle case, I know it's very tempting to be like a rock star and throw all these, hunting stickers all over your rifle case. Don't do that. Don't be that person, because that's just, again, you're attracting attention to that you have a firearm in there, which again could get beat up or someone could. That's why nice.
Unless it's a GOHUNT sticker, you gotta have that.
Gotta have that on there.
But I've even gone, so I don't have any hunting stickers on. I will take a silver Sharpie because my bow case or rifle case.
And you write guitar on it.
Guitar. Fragile. Be careful. Not a firearm. No, I write my name, my address, my phone number on there. Put United States or whatever when I'm traveling international, just so that obviously is on there, plus a little normal tag on the side. But then when you have to go get your firearm. This is where keeping your baggage receipt thing is very important, because your firearm is not going to go down through the normal baggage claim area. You're going to have to go over to
specialty
area, oversized luggage,
and check in with the airline that you flew on.
Yep.
They'll have their own little section.
So you have to pull your driver's license out. You have to pull that out. They're going to look at it. They're going to walk back in the room, double check it, walk out. And a lot of times you walk back out and they'll zip tie your rifle case closed. That way you can't open it up when you're in the airport and do something silly. So they'll take a big zip tie, like a really thick one, and zip tie it closed.
Yeah. Sometimes with a bow, they'll check it just like a normal bag. You just say, no, it's a bow and arrow. And then sometimes they'll pull you, they'll take you to that separate line.
Oh, they will still?
Yeah, I've had both. And I've been like, okay, yeah, just whatever you need to do. Even though I've said, look, there's no handgun in there.
It's not a firearm.
Just a bow, not a firearm at all. It's just a compound bow. And typically when you check your bags, just ask them what they need to do and they'll send you to the appropriate place usually. So.
And there is some places you'll fly, whether it's airlines or international, where you do have weight limits on the amount of ammo you can bring. The quantity of ammo.
Mexico's 100.
Yeah,
I know that.
And then you might need some rifle import permits as well. So you might have to go and fill a bunch of paperwork to get your rifle imported.
Gotcha.
So
I'm definitely doing the zip tie on my bow. That was a good
one.
Really good tip right there.
Very smart.
That was a very good tip. I'm taking that one.
That was a good one. I learned a lot. Even.
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
You know where I was going with that one?
Nope. What do you got next?
Let me wake my computer.
We probably got time for a few more. And then we'll try to blow through some of these a little bit quicker, maybe.
This is a good one for you boys.
And we have lots of gear questions, I should say. We've had tons of gear questions, but we're going to do a separate podcast where we're doing a gear dump. Basically, going to dump out backpacks, and a lot of those will be addressed in that podcast. Yep. So wait for it.
Yep. This one's by a person named Skylar. Question: planning a late season rifle elk hunt in Colorado next year, meaning this year. I heard elk move down later in the season, but I've seen the last few GOHUNT videos of yours, and it seems like you've been running into elk high. I only get out west hunting every couple of years, so I like to take as much advice as you're willing to give. Thanks. Thoughts on that? Colorado, I'm probably talking about a second season, third season hunt. Elk are going to be high. Snow levels, where are they going to be at? Mid-level. What would you give them advice, Trail? Big elk guy over there.
Man, it's so weather dependent,
Yep.
I think you have to put down a lot of snow that time of year for them to like really move down into like low elevation stuff where you're going to see them consistently. I think for the most part where they've been hunted through the archery hunt and the muzzleloader hunt, you've got first rifle. If they've got a season in that unit, you're going to have elk that are pretty pressured. So I think they're probably looking more for, seclusion and pockets. And so I'm not saying that they couldn't be low, but probably somewhere in the middle, to be honest.
Yeah.
Transitionary range, heavily timbered, pockets out of the way. I would probably put more emphasis on pressure at that point than I would habitat and elevation. So I would really be looking for, pockets that are, either out of the way, remote, tucked in behind a private chunk. They've got to have some habitat needs, but I would put more emphasis on pressure that time of year than anything. And I think they're going to be, they're going to be where people aren't.
Yep.
They're going to be probably mid-elevation, a lot of timber, just pockets. And I don't know that it's completely elevational dependent that time of year for elk.
Yeah, I don't think I could answer that any better. That's literally perfect. I was going to say pressure is the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. Where do elk want to be where there's no hunters? So they're going to go into deep, nasty holes. And sometimes that might be higher elevation. Sometimes that might not be. But it's just wherever there aren't people, that's where they're going to be.
I'm thinking last year to Porter's hunt, we were seeing elk. They were low, but they were also hugging the edge of private land. I mean, they were on private. They were on public. Sometimes we saw them work onto public, but we were literally standing there watching elk work from private to public,
and they didn't hit the public until, you could have still shot them for sure, but it was like the last 10 minutes.
It was the last sliver, of legal hunting light. So, you think pressure. I would, whether you're thinking high or low.
Yeah. It goes into the hunt he's probably referring to last year where I shot that raghorn. Mm-hmm. People I ran into said they haven't seen any elk. We've been in elk every single day because we were going further than anyone else. So we were getting into those unpressured zones. And that's
you're
where the elk
pretty heavily timbered, right? Pockets, steep country.
Deep canyons, timber.
That's where the elk wanted to be. It just so happened it was, still at a high elevation. There's a lot of elevation lower than that, but they were there because of, I think, pressure.
If you got like once in a decade type snow, you're not getting up there anyway because you probably don't have access to it. At that point, maybe they are moving lower elevation, but for the most part, Colorado, November, they could be from the bottom to the ag fields to the tip top.
Yeah.
They can live anywhere and thrive anywhere. So their whole thing
They
is
really
just
are
pressure.
the perfect animal, I'd say.
It really is
Whoa.
pressure. It 100% is pressure. And remember there was that big herd on public.
Yep.
But very first day, the second they got shot at, all those elk scattered back into deep timbered pockets. And it's all about pressure on those hunts.
Wrong pipe. Drink some water.
Staying hydrated. Hey.
Sparkling water. Does that count?
Gross.
Still water.
Still water.
Is it?
It's got sodium in it.
Mm-hmm. All right. You ready for another one?
Hit me.
All right. I'm going to hit Lorenzo with this one.
Oh, boy.
All right. You have a week to hunt elk with a bow in September. What week are you choosing and why?
September 15th.
15th through the 24th?
I would probably put the 15th right in the middle of my hunt dates. Not
Either
a math
side of
guy.
it? So you put the 15th at the center of it?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Gotcha. Why?
I think elk from where I've hunted them, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Montana, all over the place. There is something very special about the 15th of September with elk, just like I feel like November 11th with deer. There's just it's all anecdotal. But if I had 10 days and I had the entire month of September to choose, I would put the 15th right in the middle of my hunt dates. My thought process would be those first 4.5 days would be pre-rut, maybe find a mature bull that's just getting going, isn't on cows yet.
Maybe not quite as, you could call him in with a cow call, maybe because he's cruising for cows.
Just like my wife's bull last year. He was just getting going. Was checking cows out in the morning, but he was pulling off the cows mid-afternoon. That's why we killed him late afternoon. He was all by himself. But he was just bugling, just enough to let us know where he was. He was responding to cow calls so we could keep location on him. I could hear him coming off the hill, but he had no cows surrounded with him.
I think that bull I killed last year was September, I want to say it was the 9th or 10th, and I cow called that bull in.
Yep.
And I wondered, I've often wondered, was it just like timing, because he had some cows, he had cows he's gathered up, but he was, maybe getting greedy, just checking.
Yeah. And that's how those days before the 15th, that's how I feel those days go. Because I've had good luck with mature bulls actually just pulling off and coming to a cow call, kind of forgetting what they have in front of them.
I like that.
Mid-afternoon, they seem to be by themselves before the 15th. And then there's something special about that 15th itself, where every day after that just seems like it gets chaotic and going, and then who knows what's going to happen. A lot of the mature bulls get, pretty wiped up with a big harem and pretty close, pretty hard to get close to those bulls. But then you got satellite bulls, and maybe he's running off a satellite bull that pulls him out of the herd of cows, whatever it is. Challenge bugles start to work later into that September. And it gives me, I feel like those 4 days before and those 4 days after, or 5 days after, kind of give me all parts of the hunt, hopefully. And that's how I feel about the November 11th with deer is that's that pre where those big bucks are checking, but they're going to pull off in the afternoon and maybe be by themselves. And then they're coming in at night, checking, pulling off by themselves. It kind of gives you, and then after the 11th, it just seems like it gets hotter and hotter. That's how I feel about the 15th with elk.
Gotcha.
I'm really curious about
Brady?
Me, my suggestion.
You got any?
I want to pick up a rifle and hunt later in the year.
You got any?
No.
I want to hear trails because
I want to hit trails too, but I want to ask him because you're a big wallow sitter.
Oh yeah.
So
love a good wallow sit.
So let's just theoretically, if your hunt opened August 25th and went through all the way to end of September, you have 1 week yourself, and I know you love wallow sitting.
Ooh.
So when would it really be? And then I want a follow up question after that for you.
It's going to depend on the tag.
Yeah. Does it depend on the area, the topography, the terrain?
For sure, yeah. If I'm hunting New Mexico, I was going to throw out units, but I know you hate that.
I do hate it.
So I won't say. But if I'm hunting some lower country, cedar sage type country, and those elk are dependent on water tanks, and it's hotter in August, obviously, or September, first part of September. I think their hunt opens their first hunt. I'm going to hunt the first week. And I think it is my opinion, I think it's a great time to target a big bull because they're they're pretty habitual throughout the summer, and then through the end of August, maybe that first part of September, they're going to hit the same water sources. You know, they're going to come in and start thinking about wallowing. You know, it's a great time when you probably don't have to deal with a whole bunch of cows and calves and calling one in. You could set a water hole and kill a great bull.
I wanted you to continue, but I have one thing here. Do you think a lot of people don't do that because they want to call in a bull?
Sure. Yeah, calling in a bull's awesome.
So
that's
why they want to go. They want to go the rut.
Yeah.
That's why they hunt elk.
Yeah. So I mean, if I'm hunting an over-the-counter unit or super easy to draw unit at that point, and it's got a lot of pressure, I probably am going later, like Lorenzo was saying, because at that point you're using the audible cues of an elk to find him, right? Mm-hmm. You're not so dependent on, an elk having a habit, right? Like going to water or wallow or something like that. So in those cases, yeah, you're using, and I'm not hung up on, I'll kill an elk anyway. I can kill it. I don't care. I mean, I'm not like romantic about calling a bull in. I think it's cool, but
I am.
Are you
about
calling one in?
Yeah. I'd kill a 306 point if he's coming in bugling and I'm cow calling and working him and he's coming in looking. And I'd kill a 306 point over a 330 bull all day long.
That doesn't bug me one way or the other. I don't care. I mean, really? I like calling elk and I like to hear the sound. I don't think there's any better sound on the planet than a bugling bull. I love the sound of it, but calling one in is just not like, I'm not hung up on it. Like I like killing elk.
That's my waterfowl blood coming out in me. I love working a pack of birds.
And I get it. I mean, I totally understand it. Yeah. I think it's cool that people, they love that interaction, and I think it's romanticized. It is. It's like I bugle, he calls. He comes in and he's looking for love, and I shoot him. I think it's cool, but I mean, I'll shoot an elk happily over a water source and feel great about it. But in regards to, I was curious. I'm like you, so I would have said, like the 15th to like the 25th, somewhere in that neighborhood is kind of the best. I was exactly
working on one of your articles that you wrote, and you mentioned the 15th to the 25th.
Yeah, that's kind of my window. I was just, and that's just off the top of my head. I mean, regardless of where I've hunted across the West, it feels like if I'm hunting the 15th to the 25th, I'm going to get into, rut, and the bulls are going to be callable. And
so my second follow-up to my other questions earlier, do you pay attention to the equinox at all? So equinox is that time frame when daylight equals the same amount of daylight hours as there's dark hours.
I don't, because I'm not a witch or anything like that.
Because that's September 23rd this year.
23rd this year. Yeah, I actually looked at Mark's article on the website just because
that's why I'm bringing it up, because that's a really good article. It puts a lot of some people are like, oh yeah, you're talking about those dates because you're going to go some other dates. That's what some people always try to think when you give prime elk dates. So if you say September 15th to the 25th.
The thing about this question is it's so there's a lot of variables here. It depends on where you're hunting, the tag you've got. It depends on the type of bull you're wanting to hunt and kill. It depends on if the experience you want to have, if you want to call elk. There's a lot of variables that go into that. But I was looking at his article. So he suggested the 17th to the 26th of September this year. The equinox is the 23rd. His second choice he suggested was the 14th through the 23rd. So you're right there in that same window. Same window. What's funny is I was watching the first draft of the elk film, my elk film from last year, and there's a piece of it right there, a little 10-second clip where I'm taking pictures of the full moon through my spotting scope with my digiscope adapter, and I'm like, oh look, full moon, elk hunting and full moon, right? Check that out. And I mean, if you don't know, full moon and elk hunting typically don't go well together because you got a full moon at night. It's really bright. So the elk are out feeding all night long, and if they are rutting, the bulls are mostly rutting at night because it's cooler. I called in and killed a bull the next day. Full moon the night before. So, I mean, is it ideal? No, but I would still take a full moon and the 15th through the 25th.
Because at the end of the day, you're still hunting. Because and you can't let those thoughts creep in your head like, oh, hunting's going to suck. If that's the only time you have vacation time, that's when you're hunting.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're still going to rut. They're still going to still going to bugle.
The moon phase is the moon phase. You can't control that. You know what I mean? It's like there's just something special about the
you may have to adapt your hunting. So like you maybe got to get up earlier and
work in on them in the dark.
Try to get yourself into a position because you may have less of a window, before dark and after light when they're vocal.
How do you feel about no moon on September 15th?
Be amazing.
That's what I have this year.
I feel that.
Yeah.
What does the kid say? I F with that?
I F with that.
I feel that.
Yeah, Omar and I, there's the moon phase lines up really well this year with the hunt dates.
Young Omar.
Young Omar.
I do look at the moon phase, but I
look
mean,
at
you can't control it. So it is
Sure.
what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the hunt dates are the hunt dates. I can't control that.
Yep.
So it is what it is. But I looked at that and I'm like, oh shit.
Or you can be like those Arizona guys and just hunt water holes on a full moon at night.
Utah guys, you mean?
Wait,
Those
what?
are
I
Arizona
thought those were
guys.
Utah guys.
Those were Arizona guys.
Oh,
I don't know. Utah.
Shade.
Oh.
Pew, pew.
That's some sketchy stuff there, boys. One more thought on this. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you and Neville went on elk hunt in Montana a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
You guys, archery,
Sucked.
you went in October.
Yeah.
What was the reasoning for that?
I
Why'd you
was-
choose October?
I think I was busy in September hunting elk somewhere else. But yeah, it was. I've heard rumors, and I have people that elk hunt a lot, that are good elk hunters that I respect a lot, that really like that October time frame one, because everybody's going to burn their time in September. Everybody wants to go hunt the 15th through the 25th of September. So if you go October with a bow where their season is so long, you don't have much competition in the field. I've been on some October hunts. Like my kid, that was an October rifle hunt, and you have some of those cows that are still, either second cycle or maybe late cycle. I've seen some bulls really bugling and getting after it in October. And
Second cycle can be really good. It's just so
can
hit
be
and
really
miss.
good. Yeah, it can be so hit or miss. If I had 1 week, I'm going in September.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I can count on that.
Yeah. But if you are looking to extend elk seasons, right, you just don't want to go on one
Sure.
a year. You want to go on 2 a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every once in a while, you are going to get lucky in October with that second cycle. And it is, sometimes it's pretty damn good.
The problem we had is it got really cold. And
You guys got a lot of snow, right?
And we got a lot of snow. Probably one of the most epic snowstorms I've ever been out in. It sucked.
That'll make it tough.
Yeah, made it tough with a bow. What else you got? Any other questions?
Yeah, we can do one more.
I got one more maybe. And
Okay.
then
Let's do two more.
two more?
Two more.
So mine and yours?
Two more each?
Let's do two more. I don't care.
One more
I'm
each.
I'm
gonna
going to start
give a
getting
shit.
into
I can
gear
talk
ones
about this stuff all day.
eventually. If we,
If you got one more hunting one.
yeah, one more hunting one. All right, it's from JC. Hey, I'm a huge fan of chasing mule in the backcountry and still learning those unpredictable gems. I'm wondering what to change up or look for in a drought year. I hunt 6,300 to 7,000 foot elevation, and opening weekends in years past when it's been drought, found little or no deer. Any tips would be greatly appreciated for hunting drought in the mountains for deer.
Feed north facing slopes are it's gonna hold more more moisture in the soil, better vegetation. So I would say look for feed, and a lot of that on a drought year. I mean, everything's going to be dry, but you definitely have aspect of the slopes and elevation that's going to retain more moisture in the soil and thus better vegetation.
Yeah, look for the thick stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. Try to find some thicker areas, like I said, north slopes. Maybe use the terrain analysis tool ahead of time. Start picking out some areas. If you got a chance to go scouting out there, figure out where some of those, areas that are a little bit wetter, and try to hone in on that using that tool and try to mark a bunch of areas or trace a bunch so you have them on the map when you go offline. And then just kind of glassing everything still, though. I still wouldn't give up on a lot of other stuff. Like if you're finding, if you can go higher elevation, maybe try to go high elevation, maybe go a little bit lower. Maybe try to, adjust your glassing, go down the mountain a little bit, but try to glass some of that thicker stuff because a lot of those bucks might just be bedded the whole time.
On a really dry year too, I mean, water late season can be pretty critical for deer. I mean, I think of some late season video and just pictures I've seen from those bucks on the ponds and the strip, and probably a lot of other areas are no different. You'll see those deer in November just piling into water holes. And pretty centrally located around them because they just got to have water, So you're talking late October, November. If it's really dry and really hot, water can be good in and around water. That's a good one.
Gonna be in ruddy and active.
Yep.
Yeah, water's a big deal.
Yep.
Can I throw a little nugget out there that we're working on? There's real-time hydrology mapping layers that will show you where the water's being held in the ground, which is obviously going to produce the best feed. And we're working on that. So
yes, sir.
we're working on that.
So use that when it comes out.
Yeah, but visually, look for the bright green. I mean, if it really is that droughty, look for the bright green. That's I mean, they're going to be in and around the bright green feed.
And this is another good use case too for historical imagery.
Yeah,
On Google Maps, you can try to find some other years, or maybe look up some other years that were drought years, and then see if you can find an image date
that
from
correlates.
that year that correlates with that. And then you can see, where are the green
Where's
patches
the
on a
green
drought
up?
year?
Yep.
And try to use that to your advantage.
That's a good one. Yeah. Historical imagery could be really helpful in that regard.
I think it's extremely helpful for drought condition. I actually think that's probably one of the most effective reasons for it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, last one. This is kind of a gear one, but I think it's applicable, and I think it'll round things out, because assuming that you have some luck this fall, which we hope everybody does, and we would love, if you guys have luck, let us know. Like,
Absolutely.
I'd love to see pictures and stuff. I love that, man. I had a guy the other day send me 2 years of 2 different bull elk that he'd killed, and he was like, "Man, I watched film, stoked for this year to get out. Here's a couple bulls that I shot," and like, I love that shit.
That's
so
so cool.
too.
Yep. So in regard to that, we hope you all have some luck. But for those people that are, maybe coming out, or even ourselves, right? We're going out. What size coolers? What coolers do you guys recommend for bone in muley, bone out muley, bone in elk, bone out elk?
It's actually a really good question.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I always pack the Yeti 150, Tundra 150, and then the 105.
I think they have a 125 and a one. Are you talking the
big white one.
Gotcha.
That's the big
a one.
dog.
Not the big dog, the 150.
There's a 160.
Maybe it's the 160 then.
Yeah. Well, that fit.
Sorry, it is a 160. I should have looked
So
at
will that
first.
fit? You're talking muley?
Yeah.
Okay. Bone in,
No, always bone out.
bone out,
Cause
and ice.
Yep. Because I always like to I take frozen water jugs.
Okay.
So I'll take like 8 or 10 frozen water jugs, like gallon jugs, keep them frozen, throw them in my cooler, try to fill up other things in that cooler, take up all the airspace. If I have to, I'll take some, even towels from my shower just to take up all the airspace so that ice will stay in there longer. And I never open those basically it's a kill cooler. And just because
I've never used that. Never heard of it even.
yeah, because if you take all
You?
No.
Towels to fill up space?
No, never.
yeah, because all the air circulates around, even though it's sitting in there, that's, potentially warmer air. So if you can fill all that void, I guess why, if you fill a cooler up fuller with ice and drinks and food, if you're going on a little vacation thing, it's going to stay colder longer.
I just thought it was because there's more.
So that's why it's more. That's why you take the towel. It's to fill up extra space. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be great to freeze those, make them whatever and put them in there. But even
Sure.
just a dry towel can work. Just take up that space in there and then never open it.
Then you can use the towel to take a shower when you get back, Brady.
could.
There we go.
But I always like to have 2, like I said, because those jugs are going to take up a lot of space, and I want to have enough room to lay my meat in there and let it, don't want to. That's why I like the frozen jugs rather than cubed ice, because cube ice is going to make water eventually when that melts. But the water inside the jug is going to be frozen. It's not going to escape. So my meat's not going to get tainted with water. And I'll also then, when I get back, lay a big 3 mil black contractor bag over top of all the ice, and then kind of set those game bags on there, let them cool. That's why I have the 2 coolers. Obviously, one is also going to have the hide in it, because as Trail always comments, I love to mount everything.
Everything.
So
Absolutely.
I was
everything.
actually thinking, I was hunting the other day, and I was like, if I shoot a spike elk, what do I do with it? Because I don't know if I pack it out or not. But then I got to thinking, I'd probably mount it if I'm Brady. Just mount that spike.
Shoulder
No.
mount. Fully.
no,
Full
I
shoulder.
do draw a line on immature animals.
What about a nice velveteen spike? You wouldn't
Yeah.
know?
No.
All
Not
right.
a shoulder mount.
No.
All right. Well, now I know what to do.
So
Full
I
cap
always
in.
take those 2. If I'm not for an elk, I'd probably throw another cooler in there.
Yeah. I was going to suggest, like, for an elk, like 2 125s.
Yeah.
2 160s would be even better, because you just fit more ice. Depends on how far you're going, I guess. But yeah, I would say, you could probably fit all the meat in a 160 boned out, but you're not going to have a lot of room for ice. So yeah, I would suggest 2 220s or 2 125 Yetis.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the double.
Yeah.
No, not a single cooler. You got to have 2.
Yep. Takes up a lot of room in a 4Runner. I know that.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. What do you guys do?
Tacoma bed and a 4Runner. See you later after that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really impact you because you can throw your cooler inside. But like, what do you do for cooler protection? You're out there on a hunt, like.
I don't know. I don't worry about it because I have 4Runner. But what do you guys do?
Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough. Try to park in the shade. Try to do as much as I can. Try to drape some. I got a frame over the bed of my truck. Try to drape something over that if I can.
Yeah, keep some shade on it.
Yeah, just some shade, a little bit of shade. I try to just park very shaded, like treed up areas.
And then the other question: what about human protection? You ever worried about someone coming in and jacking your cooler? Do you
Just
put
leave
like
it now.
trail cam
Like
cable locks?
you're a deplorable human being if you steal my cooler.
Yeah, you're a POS. You don't deserve anything. Nothing worse than a thief, man.
Because everyone
There's-
knows, 160 Yeti, that's expensive.
I know, but no, I've never done anything to combat it or like because I just, I don't want to believe that there's that shitty of people in the
Put
world.
it in the cab, I guess, but you'd fill the thing up.
If you fill the thing up, you can't move it. Yeah.
I've never done any like human protection from
They
it.
do have lock things, I guess, on it. And
I put trail camera cable locks through mine, and then lock it down to the tie down in the bed of my truck.
Gotcha.
And then have a tonneau cover as well. I can lock that. That's why I really want to get a new truck, so I can get a topper on it, so I can feel a little bit more secure and people can't see in there.
Man, people are shitty. Thieves are.
We've had people steal gas before. People stole a gas can.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's really shitty. You got to think about that. It just adds another thing to it, and I've never dealt with it.
No.
I'm just kind of always held on to hope that there's good people out there where I am.
Yeah.
For guys who are even putting trail cams out by their trucks too to try to catch people and breaking into it. Cody Boer's raising his hand. Old Cody 45.
I mean, if you're really concerned and trying to protect it, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But then are you considered using a trail camera during a non-trail camera part of the season?
Oh, here we go.
Trying to get deer crossing right there, and then you're going to use that to hunt. So you're technically illegal, Cody, by using a trail camera during hunting
I don't know how those apples got in that Yeti with the cooler open. I have no idea. I mean, I'm not baiting deer. These are just my apple collection. I'm trying to keep cool, man. Give me a break. That's probably a good spot to round it out, huh?
Yeah, that was a good episode.
That was a good one. Hopefully, we have a bunch more. Like I said, I think I probably have another 20 or so that are more gear related. We'll probably run through some of those in another podcast. We're just do a gear dump. So thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Good. Like I said, good luck, everybody.
Yeah, hunting season's here. Send us photos.
Yeah, send photos.
We love photos. Tag us in some of the photos.
Reach us at GOHUNT.com.
Yeah, reach us at GOHUNT. Share them on Instagram.
Tag us on Instagram. Reach us. That's probably
one thing I learned recently: reviews are big so if you leave us a review. I mean, if you hate the episode, just keep it to yourself, but give us a 5-star review. If you did like the episode, leave us a review and leave us 5 stars.
Yeah, we had no idea that was a thing to help a podcast grow.
I don't know shit about algorithms.
I've read through some of our reviews on the podcast. They're actually really good. People are calling out some good episodes. They're good, like I said, some suggestions about more nutrition stuff. Leave us a public review on wherever you check out your podcast.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Be out.